Welcome to the Foxhole, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Well, for
I
those
feel
of you,
tall. What do you mean?
what say again?
Tall. I feel tall. I'm so tall today. I
You're-
can never gauge properly how to position myself.
You look too
You know what, I'm
small.
gonna position myself like this from now on, so I'm the same. I'm always in the same spot at the top of my screen. I'm the tallest I can be, and then you can position me however you want me to be.
I mean, you're fine right
You
there,
fix
honestly.
You fix it.
Yeah, I can fix it OBS, no problem. No, but it looks fine. It looks fine where it is.
I don't think it does. I think I look too tall.
You looking too
I look
tall?
massive. My head's like the width of your chest.
Got
Got
there.
a fat head.
Well, Rosa does have a fat head. Let's be real.
Still, that's better. That's better.
There you go.
There you go. That's better. That's more like it.
Yeah. But yeah, I went back to the so yesterday on stream, I was like in the middle. I was like in a back and forth with my artist to finalize the new background for the show. But it's not quite exactly ready yet. I mean, I basically ended up asking for one more revision, and it's regarding the ship in the background. It just looks off.
It does.
It looks like it's too in focus. Like there's no way that a ship way that far back from where the camera is would be that well in focus. And it's still too big too. So I asked for, like, I'm well past the revision limit at this point, chat. So I came groveling back to the artist, saying, "Hey, could you make one last revision?" And I actually asked for two. I asked for, can you put the ship in silhouette? And can you give it to me just without the ship entirely? Because if it doesn't look right, then I'd rather just not have it, you know? So hopefully she's cool. She gives it to me. Otherwise, we have enough to work with, honestly. And I have a little bit of knowledge on like green screen editing and that kind of stuff, so I could potentially fix it myself after I get back at the end of April. But we'll see. Well, but it's going to be finalized like most likely this weekend. It'll be final, and then we'll have something next week, and then I can tweak it myself if absolutely necessary after I get back from Japan in like May or whatever. So next week, the background will be there will be a brand new piece of art for you to ogle at for the show. But anyway, other than that, how you doing, Rosa?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad you asked. I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing.
You must be doing all right if you're doing accents voluntarily.
Yeah,
I
I'm doing pretty okay.
You were
I
you woke
felt
up
really
sick.
sick this morning.
Yeah.
I felt really sick this morning.
You don't sound sick.
I this morning I felt sick, and I think when I hopped in this morning, people were like, "Yeah, you sound bad. Drink some tea or something." Pizza didn't make me tea. That being said, laughter is always the best medicine. It's true. Which is why I was like, "Fuck it, we're gonna stream anyway, even if it's an hour late." I'm glad I did. I had a lot of fun. I really had a lot of fun. But yeah, this morning I was a fucking disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I was falling apart, dude. Falling apart. And then I do this thing in the shower where, like, if Pace ever gets water on me, I do like a sassy fuck, what's that one movie with Jackie Chan, the black guy?
Jackie Chan, the black guy.
Rush
Hour.
I do like a sassy Rush Hour-esque like black guy impression, and I pretend to be horribly offended by her putting water on me. And it makes me feel better every time. So.
Yeah, Rush Hour really are. Those really are like just good, like movies that just put you in a better mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I need to go back and watch watch them. We watched the first one recently. I want to go back and watch the other two because I've actually never seen them.
Really? Oh man,
Yeah.
you should have. That's one of the very. I think chat. I think that's the first set of watch-alongs that I ever did over in the Discord. I think the Sunday night watch-alongs. I
I
think
just
we
don't have
started.
time.
I know. I think we started with the whole Rush Hour trilogy, though. I think, if I remember correctly.
I start my streams at 10 a.m. on Sunday, and then I try to get all my work done by 10 p.m. and I'm usually tired even before then. So I end stream and I go to sleep.
No, I get it. I get it. You're gonna have to eventually make it in there for a Blazing Saddles watch-along.
Yeah, I have to. You've now rewatched it twice and I've
I've
missed
watched it twice
both
now.
times. The first time I didn't miss it. I just fell asleep through the movie.
I know. I can't. Yeah, it was so disappointing too because I was like, "There's no
I'm so
way."
sorry.
There's no way she's not laughing her ass off at this. Like, how was there silence? And then you just
Yeah,
blacked
no,
out.
I
You blacked out like
literally
5 minutes in.
fell asleep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But you have had a much better week, I think. I'm not to put words in your mouth or anything.
This week was good. This week was good. I don't remember what I did this week. I already forgot what I did this week, which is good. That's usually how you know that I'm having good weeks. Is that I don't remember like a horrible thing that happened because I feel like humans are just bad at remembering good things. We're only good at remembering bad things.
Well, we definitely focus on it.
Yeah, we like hyperfixate on it.
Mhm.
But this week was good. We started the week with a Patho week planning over on her end, and we set up your restream and stuff.
Mhm.
And then we did Watcher of Realms on Monday, along with some Witcher, which I had a fucking blast with. I'm actually really excited to play it again. I had a really, really good time doing like the ending bits of like Novigrad, and like doing that one fucking murder mystery, which I fucking. The sexy gilf lady did not need to die. I knew who it was. I should have killed him right away. This is bullshit. But anyway, so aside from like, you know, being the best Witcher of all time and being able to track prey from the moment I see it, I'm like, that's him. That's the bad guy, right? Being a professional detective. We did some Watcher of Realms, which I've actually been really, really enjoying. It's a shame that like the goals for it are so like they require so much commitment, you know, that I don't think I'm gonna make much out of this sponsorship. But I am, however, having a lot of fun playing it because it's literally just Arknights, but medieval fantasy, which I fucking love.
When's the deadline for it?
When's the deadline for it? There is. There is 16 days and 21 hours left.
You got more than 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we had 5 people that had hit chapter N36, like chapter 3, like mission 6. Mm-hmm. 1 person hit chapter 7, mission 1, and that immediately just doubled the income because the value from reaching the second goal is 5 times the value from reaching the first goal.
Oh wow.
So okay. It adds up quick. It's just again, it's the sheer amount of commitment required.
Yeah.
To get through all of that, like it's just a lot to ask of people.
Yeah, there's like gacha games that I play on a very regular basis that I haven't gotten that far in the story.
Yeah, so. Yeah, like it's like literally complete the fucking story. But again, the reward for completing all the story missions is $85 per person that does it, and also a gift sub to the Twitch community.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so there's also that. But
well,
yeah,
there's still time. But yeah, it's
16 days. It's a lot of commitment, a lot of grind, and yeah, it's a fun game. It really is a fun game. Like I every time I play it, I almost like don't want to stop. Mm-hmm. Like I was almost late to Monster Hunter on Friday.
One more fight.
Because I was actually invested in the Watcher of Realms, and I started it late, so I could only play it for 30 minutes instead of the full hour that I wanted to. And like I was like, damn it, but I want to do more. I'm actually legitimately enjoying it. It's actually like really, really fun. Again, it's really just Arknights, which I fucking love. I love Arknights, but with medieval fantasy themes, which I also love way more than I love sci-fi. So.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I
keep playing it.
Yeah, I'm like, I've never really been like huge into sci-fi. I really haven't. I've always preferred the more fantasy side of things. So
Yeah. But speaking of fantasy, Patho played some Skyrim. And besides that,
OG,
she played some more Dragon's Dogma, which was really fun.
did she play like
Um,
unmodded or modded Skyrim?
I think she's playing. I think she's playing unmodded. No, I think she does have mods. Cause I could have sworn she added a mod to. No, I don't know if she's playing modded or not. I don't think. I have no idea. But I don't pay attention. I like I've forced myself that whenever Paith is doing one of her streams, I try to just leave the room and just stay away, so I don't just end up basically collabing with her on stream and actually using that time to do other things. Like I have to like force myself, and even then, sometimes I'll pull up her stream and I'll get distracted. I'll just sit there and watch her stream while I like scroll through it, like Twitter or something. Like, I'm still getting used to having free time. I'm not used to it.
Yeah,
I'm not used to it.
yeah, but you have to like have a game plan going into the free time so that you're not just idle. You know, like if you
Yeah,
have like an idea of how to fill the free time with productive things,
yeah.
then
I
it'll
actually need to finish editing
yeah.
that video. I should have done it this week, but I forgot.
Just forgot.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm
let
just
the
not good at
Rizabod
having.
guys hear you say that.
I forgot, dude. I straight up forgot. Like, for context, I had it open on my computer the entire, like, most of the week to the point where, like, it was bugging out my fucking game. Which game was it was bugging it out? It was
Oh, was it like
Conan. It was bugging out Conan.
memory leaking and shit? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck. And so, like, I had to close it. And, like, I feel bad, but I was super distracted, like, all day while Patho was streaming. And like I worked on D&D, so I didn't do nothing, but still.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we played some Conan. That was a lot of fun. Patho played Maho Arms, which is a game that I've had for a very long time.
Maho Arms.
Maho Arms. It's a game that's been in early development for years now. I think when I bought it, it was like 20 like it was way before I ever became a streamer. It was like 20 like
Oh,
19 or
jeez.
something like that.
That's a
when I
long
bought
time
it.
ago.
Yeah, it was like 2019, something like that. I think was when I bought it. And I played it like once or twice. I played for like 10 minutes. I think is what I had on Steam. I can actually open and check. And I like never really touched it again.
Hmm.
It was 2020. That's when it was 2020 when it when it went into early access when it came out, and apparently the devs have been working at it. They've been continuously like improving. I played for 8 minutes. But they've been continuously improving the game. And so Patho went ahead and really I played it in 2022, so I actually was already streaming by the time I played it. I tried it. But Patho went ahead and she was looking through like my library because she started game sharing, and she was like, "Ooh, this game is interesting because it's about like magical. It's about like military magical girls."
Oh, sounds
Basically,
a lot like Girls Frontline.
kind of. Except it focuses more on like the magical girl aspect of it, and like doing like your transformation from like your normal form to like your magical girl form, and like going into combat and stuff. And the game is super based. Like the clothing model, as you take damage in fights, the clothing model starts to get torn up to the point where like it's like revealing like boobies and like underwear and shit.
Oh, so it's like Dead or Alive.
And the character wears pasties.
Nice.
But yeah, playstyle looks a lot more like
Senran Kagura, yeah.
It makes me think and it makes me think of Nier, the playstyle. Especially the closed make mechanic is very Senran Kagura.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the game looks super fun. So now she's like super invested. She's like hopping like their Discord. Apparently the devs are extremely like on top of stuff. Like they like respond like within the hour and stuff. And like they're super
cool.
like engaging with like the community, which is nice. Nice to see her like get invested in something like that. And I've always been about like giving exposure to like lesser known games. This is definitely one of those.
Like the fucking Last Faith.
Last Faith, I love it.
Last Faith.
I haven't finished my second playthrough of it. I didn't go back to keep playing it because I keep there's so many things I want to do that I think are like more important right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
For what it's worth,
Uh,
the
uh-huh.
Rizavon devs, they actually contacted me, and I didn't even
Yeah.
know it. I didn't even know it. um, and they actually told me that because I said it's like, well, it's too late because I only saw this message 3 weeks later after you the original message. But I did help Rosa with the editing of the video that she put up. They were like, "Oh yeah, we saw that. It was great. You know, we were really happy that they got all the jokes and they acknowledged the things that we hoped they would acknowledge and yada yada yada." They were very positive about it. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway,
But yeah, so there's that. Peso played some more Soma. I got to play Monster Hunter, which was fucking fun. We played it that night on release. We had a blast. And then obviously yesterday we played more Monster Hunter for like 6.5 hours, and I want to play more. We almost played more last night after D&D, because we did D&D. I went to go bed, and we couldn't sleep. I heard a woman speaking outside our window. I'm like so positive of it. I heard a woman speaking. I was like, what the fuck, right? And I was like, my love, did you close the door? Did you lock the door? Did you barricade everything? And she was like, I think so, yeah. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get up. So I got up and I checked the house. Lo and behold, the front door was unlocked and unbarricaded.
oh god.
So I locked it and barricaded it. I double checked all the doors, double checked the entire inside of the house. Right? I didn't bother looking outside because I'm pretty confident I heard a woman outside. Right? We go back to bed, right? And at this point, like neither of us can sleep. And she ends up checking like the Facebook community for like our city. And apparently people have been talking about a woman who is known only as Methany.
Methany. That's a very clever name. Not gonna lie.
Who has been going around town and like basically like stealing from outside of people's houses and like staying in like abandoned places, and there is an abandoned house next to us. So that makes sense. Lo and behold, I did in fact hear Methany.
That's hilarious.
My Bigfoot sighting was not fake. I heard it. I heard her.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's it. We did Crossing Spanish today, and that was a blast.
Oh yeah, Cards Against. Yeah, that was fun. I think that's a really good like kind of like a fresh new arc for the what do you call it, the members only Saturday streams. So are they members only? I think they are. Maybe they're not. No, the Friday the Cards Against Humanity.
That's those are open invite. The D&D last night was
that's the one that's members only.
That was members only. The Jay got laid, or well, rather Cal got laid.
I was gonna say that's more fantastical than the world of D&D.
Innocent little Cal was taken advantage of by evil elf lady.
Evil elf lady.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got Restream going. I'm not using it tonight. What I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna get this connected, the Restream connected to 2 of the platforms. Right now it's connected to Twitch, but I only want to use Twitch for gaming, simulcasting. But for this show, I want to simulcast it over to Rumble. But I need to get Rumble set up, so I can simulcast this show on Rumble. And then Twitter, it's the other one I need to get it set up, and I'm gonna put everything on Twitter. So, but at least it's over on Twitch right now. So I have you to thank for that. It would have taken me forever to figure that out. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have been playing the hell. Well, I'm only playing it on stream, but the new Yakuza game has dropped. So I haven't played a single hour or a minute. I haven't even booted up the new Monster Hunter. I'm probably going to do that at some point this week. I'll probably just hop on with Jazz at some point and play, because he's basically like every minute of free time he has, he's just playing Monster Hunter. I'll probably just hop
I
on with
wish.
him.
I
Yeah,
want to.
yeah, I'll probably hop on with him at some point this week to play that.
PvP.
Because honestly, I
Mhm.
feel like that game, I'm probably only ever gonna really play it when I'm playing it with friends. But I have been playing the hell out of the new Yakuza game. That's my jam. The Pirate Yakuza in
Mhm.
Hawaii. And I've
Yeah.
been having a ton of fun with that. At least as much fun as I've had on stream. Because what I did is like to scratch the itch of wanting to play that, I've gone back and I'm still playing through Yakuza 5, which we finished like 2 weeks ago. Just
Mhm.
grinding out to platinum it, essentially, which is a lot of hours. Because it's one of the platinums that requires like 100% completion, 100 to 100% the completion
Mhm.
list, which is like play and win every single mini game, side quest possible in the entire game. And if you know anything about Yakuza games, there's a lot
There's a
of
lot of
that.
those.
There's a lot. So I've got my work cut out for me, but that's been satisfying the itch, so that I avoid like progressing in the new one off stream, because I really want to focus and make sure that all of the gameplay for the new one is streamed. So that's been my jam, and it's a ton of fun. And then I'm also still playing through Subnautica, which is it wasn't that bad this last week. And it probably, fingers crossed, won't be that bad this upcoming week as well, because this upcoming week I'm focusing on base building.
Mhm.
So but I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna end up. If I have to go anywhere near that damn ship, into Reaper territory, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna absolutely lose my shit. And I'm not looking forward to that. But
Have you ever played Soma?
I don't think so.
Because we were talking about it the other night while Peter was playing it. How like you would probably fucking freak the fuck out in that game.
Oh, really? Is it also like a thalassophobic game?
The whole concept of it is that you are this like Canadian guy who went in for like a brain surgery or something, and then you wake up thousands of years later, and you're in the body of a robot, and the world was sunk under the ocean, basically. So you're basically trying to go through all of these like underwater, like
Oh
locations,
God!
like laboratories,
And it's
with
also
with weird like robots and shit that like try to kill you.
oh God, that sounds
Um,
awful.
and you're basically trying to find out like what happened to humanity and how you can basically join them.
Oh God, that sounds like a
And
nightmare to me.
that would freak you the fuck out. There's like entire sections that are underwater that I can't do because it gives me a headache. Because you can hardly see ahead of you.
Oh man, you're giving now. Yeah, see now NDA's gonna be on my ass about that. Oh man. But yeah, man. Now I'm like caught in my own head thinking about it, and I'm freaking out about it. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 as well is what I'm continuing that playthrough on Friday. I did a special Thursday stream of Yakuza because the big thing that I did in IRL is I went and saw the launching of the Falcon 9 IM2 mission to the moon in person, and I
Hell
filmed
yeah.
it.
You have the footage.
I have footage. So let me bring it up here. I have to have it open. Hang on. Okay, that's okay. I can open it real quick. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, let me get this open. Then I can switch over the source. Then, oh. So next time I'm gonna bring my GoPro, so that I can get clear video footage. This was taken with my Android phone, because it's all I had on me at the time. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get it to just the video only. Then this over here. Okay, so this video is about 12 minutes long. But nothing really happens. Yeah. So you can see ahead, there are these like flashing lights in a column, right? There's these two red lights. And right underneath that, there's this light. And that's like the spotlight. That's like the big spotlight on the ground. If I forward, so this is like a pan. So this is taken from Spaceview Park. So we're looking south right now. So the water is here. Let me back up a bit. So right now, I'm in the park. We're on a bridge, and we're looking directly east. So we're looking across the bay onto the Kennedy Space Center Island, or Cape Canaveral Island, whatever you call it. And the launch pad is on the eastern. It's almost like right on the beach, essentially. It's right on the edge of the eastern shoreline, directly east of the park that we're in. So I do a quick pan here. At some point, maybe. There we go. Now we're looking south. You see some people, and then at one point I'm gonna pause it. There. So this tower right here, it wasn't working the night of the launch. But there's these speakers here, and I think the reason is because I think it's like a NASA managed missions only. This was a private SpaceX mission, right? It was carrying NASA equipment to the moon, but there wasn't normally these speakers that are mounted on these posts. They broadcast like the comms in the control room, so you can hear the countdown and all the status and that kind of stuff. But that didn't happen that night. And here, now looking directly west pretty much. There's like another bridge to here. There. We're looking north. Then there was I see him. I didn't catch him. Okay. And then we land back at looking directly east again. Now I guess kind of try to hold it as best as I can because I have it held I'm just holding with my hands. Other people came better prepared to me. They had like tripods and like night vision cameras and all this shit. But let's see here. There it is. So about 9.5 minutes in.
Whoa!
Yeah, the whole sky just lights up.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
And then, listen, it's been about 15, 20 seconds now. Now you hear the rumble.
Wait, hold on. Are you showing me this? You're just showing the chat.
I'm just showing the chat.
Smoj, I can't hear any of it.
Oh, you can't hear any of it?
Oh.
Oh, that sound still hasn't hit us yet. I'll play it again. I'll play it again for you, the whole thing. After this initial.
Yeah.
Now the sound hits us. It's like a minute. It's
Holy
almost
fuck.
It's almost a whole minute later that the sound actually hits. But it's like this low rumbling sound. And at a point, it turns a little bit, so it's still going straight up, but it's going kind of sideways. But it leaves pretty
That's
quick.
because they can't hear anything.
Oh, they can't hear anything? Oh, you can't. You're right. You can't hear anything. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'll do.
None of us have sound.
Okay, why wouldn't you? Oh, wait a minute. What a browser. I don't actually know how to give it sound because it's a. I'm using it on presentation slides. I need to upload it to media. Hang on. Let me switch it over to a different source. Hang on. Switch it to this. Yeah, we'll do this. This. That way. Okay. Actual. There we go. Now you should be able to see it. Now you should actually be able to hear it if I turn the music track on. Is somewhere in here.
Can you share screen it?
Yeah, let me share it with
you. Yippee!
Oh. I need to control it. Hang on. Oh, I would just do this. Okay. Let me just pause it real quick.
I love dipping chicken fingers in the and let me share it with sauce of their children.
There you go. Now you have it.
Dude, chicken fingers and honey mustard is like the ultimate like get fucked chickens.
It really is, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna get it. Okay, so 928. What's up to 920? There. Okay. Okay, so I hit play for you and play for the chat at the same time.
Yes, I hear it.
Yeah, so you should be able to hear it now. Oh shit! Whoa! 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 Oh my god! Wow! Wow!
I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so freaking cool. I'm waiting for the sound to hit us or something. Yeah, so at a point you'll hear this rumbling sound, like about a minute in. It's about 12 miles away, directly. How freaking amazing is that? There's the sound.
There's the sound.
Boom.
That's so cool.
Right? And we were really curious, how loud is it gonna get? We had no idea. But no, this is pretty much where it stays, is at this rumbling sound.
See the smoke. See the smoke.
And they have onboard cameras and all that kind of stuff too, that you can watch live streaming. They have cameras that are looking at the engines and looking at panels and all that kind of stuff. They have cameras right there on the launch pad that you can see. Pretty cool. You can see it took it 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes to on the ground to a tiny little dot in the sky.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. At this point, it's just kind
All the kids super excited.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was really cool. Next time, they have there's a beach just north of the launch pads of the SpaceX. So SpaceX has their own dedicated launch pads, which are on the north part of the island. All of like the NASA launch pads are on the south part of the island. So, but there's this beach called Playa Linda Beach, that's like just to the north of the SpaceX launch pads. So, and that beach is open to the public. So if there's ever a launch like before 6 p.m., you can see it from that beach, and you're like 2 or 3 miles from the launch pad. Like you can see the whole thing right there. And I want to use my GoPro next time too, to get like much clearer video. And I'll also be alone too, which will be a lot easier to do things. Won't be with my elderly parents. But yeah, I definitely plan on doing more, visits to go see rocket launches in the future. It's really freaking cool. But that's why I didn't stream my normal Yakuza streams on Wednesday, because I was off doing this. And I streamed Yakuza on Thursday instead. So, yep. That was my week.
Oh yeah.
Let me see here. Let me. Okay. I modified a whole bunch of stuff. So this.
I can't tell if this barbecue sauce is spicy or if the chicken's just really hot. Doesn't feel hot on my fingers. Oh. Why?
Where the heck is... There they are. Jeez. Got too much shit. I need to clean up my scenes, chat. My god. Got too much going on. Let me bring that up. Go. Boom. Okay. So, a very, 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 very interesting thing happened at the White House the other day. Let me get this shared with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was this super heated exchange between President Trump, J.D. Vance, and Zelenskyy of Ukraine, right? And that interaction went something... Oh, God. Oh, jeez. I think we need to spend time.
Dude, I was watching this last night and I was just in absolute, shock. Just watching this.
I know, it's freaking wild.
It's like, bro. How are you gonna come over here and start fucking, arguing with the people that you're fucking begging for help from?
Yeah, it's... That's it. Oops, wrong button. To make sure that chat can hear this. Go on. Okay, chat, so you should be able to hear this.
That we had conversations.
Can you hear that, chat? All hat behavior. How about a chat verify that you can hear this?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so this happened in the Oval Office yesterday.
That we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
Right off the bat, that sounds like a fucking threat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck are you saying?
Well, you notice that the moment he was leaning forward at first, and he had his arms out. He had a very confident posture because he expected what pretty much all your typical, globo homo fucking, liberal world order bureaucrat does, essentially, which is just, head down, shoulders slumped, and you just kind of take it, just kind of take the aggression. And the moment JD Vance raises his voice and leans in himself and starts pointing at him, he realizes, oh shit, he's actually defending himself. And he takes this arms folded, very defensive posture, like he realizes really quick that he stepped in it.
He doesn't realize how to step out of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not
No,
winning.
it's so base. Pause.
You have a damn...
Pause.
Oh shit.
Dude,
Sorry.
Oh.
And now I'm talking
Dude,
about...
No. You've done a lot of talking. Shut up.
Yeah, you've done a lot of talking. Shut up. It's just...
things getting push Trump around. Yeah, dude, that was... God, so stupid. He's getting every opportunity to change his tune and decided that he was better off doubling down. Yeah, dude, what a fucking imbecile, bro.
Well, he keeps putting himself in these corners that he can't get out of.
military equipment, this war
He
would have
wants
been
the cake,
over
he wants to eat
in
it
2
too.
weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers. Listen,
Please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
is-
with me.
It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
That
is-
was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards.
He's so mad.
With us,
Trump's getting
He's
into
so
his
upset.
he's getting into his rambling mode right now, but like you get the point
The
here.
Ukrainian diplomat lady that negotiated the deal was almost crying when Zelenskyy tried to push his will and change the deal in front of the press.
Well, that's the thing, is that's the whole context. So the whole context behind this meeting is like this big $500 billion mineral rights deal, right? Which we're gonna get to. This clip is almost over.
you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what
She's
if
asking, what if Russia
Putin
breaks the
breaks
ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
no-
What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
But what-
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton.
Oh, okay, so the key part of this conversation is over at this point.
Yeah.
You know, he goes into his typical spiel at this point, but you can
Yeah,
see,
I get it. Yeah, but at the same time, he's not wrong, right? He's like, fucking Trump. Not Trump. Putin knows that he's that. Fuck, this man's crazy. Putin
Yeah.
knows that if he wants to bring it to fucking button presses, he's gonna press the button.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's like you
Like,
saw. Like that's. I think that's
Putin
exactly
knows
why he pulled
that
the trigger.
if
Go ahead.
yeah, but I was just saying like right away when Trump became president, Putin was super down to negotiate because Putin knows that if it comes to trading blows, the world's gonna end. Simple as, because he's not just gonna take it sitting down and be like, I guess Russia wins, right?
Well, he knows that Trump's gonna be a much bigger pain in his ass.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it's not necessarily just respect, it's more so fear. Like, Putin knows that Trump will absolutely fucking press the button. He does not give a fuck.
Yeah, I think it's.
I hear my wife yelling for me.
It's okay.
Give me just a second.
But I think it's the same reason that like Trump pulled the trigger on those 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico like right after the gate too, because and then in 24 hours he like pulled them back, you know, after he got commitments from Mexico and Canada's commitments were 90% of them were already committed from before Trump became president. But the point is that Trump was basically showing that he's willing to push the button, and Putin is very much convinced of this too. Like, Trump will push the damn button. And the whole context around this confrontation in the Oval Office. Well, I mean, before I get to that, actually, like, the thing is that, you know, Trump, he even said a few seconds ago, he was like, this is why I let it go on this long. This is why I let the media show this, because he wants to show that, like, because normally what you see is you get a media report of, like, you know, insiders close to the president say that there was like contention between Zelenskyy and Trump at their meeting today. Oh, let's speculate to the sun and back. You know what I mean? And then, like, the next day, you know, they have a little thing, they have a little press conference where they say this, they have their scripted back and forth, they shake hands, they sign the deal, they show the, you know, they show the paper with the wet ink on it, you know, everybody claps, they shake hands again, and then they have like little, little conversations where you can only see their lips moving, and then the camera pans back to the anchors, and that's it. It's like this heavily scripted event. But what Trump is doing is he wanted the media there in this room at this time because he wanted to show, like, these negotiation stuff, they're not like these clean, perfect things. Like, they're messy. And these kinds of arguments between leaders happens all the time. Like, he was on the call with Vladimir Putin for 90 minutes, you know, like a week ago. Like, you think that call was all sunshine and rainbows? You know, like, of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. He's very much like showing, like, hey, these negotiations and shit, they're messy. So Putin knows that if American politicians can't control the president, he can't win. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can hate on Putin all you want, but the guy is no fool. You know what I mean? Putin is very, very much knowledgeable of, you know, statecraft and all this other kind of stuff. And he's a far more experienced leader than Zelenskyy is. That's for damn sure. Zelenskyy was a fucking comedian before he was a president, you know? Let's see, Obama-era politicians were the ones reported to have done it. Done what? Done what? It's been reported that American politicians told Zelenskyy to tank the deal. Man, I haven't seen that one. Because the whole context of this deal is, where is it? This. It was this minerals deal, essentially. Man, why is every damn window like a different place? This is so annoying. I can see the whole damn thing. There you go. There we go. Okay. It was this minerals deal. So Trump was negotiating with Putin. Like, he was going over Zelensky's head. He was going over the entire European Union's head. In fact, like, before I get to this, you know, there was this whole thing where, you know, there was like this EU plan where all these European bureaucrats were negotiating a plan, you know, to put boots on the ground in the kind of like a demilitarized zone between Ukraine and Russia, and all of these, you know, security guarantees, yada, yada, yada. But Trump just went over all that and just talked directly with Putin. You know, and that really freaked out all the, you know, the European politicians. That's where this story comes from. You know, Trump and Putin stunned Europe with peace plan for Ukraine. You know, so that's like their unit. Trump is very much, he's overstepping NATO. You know,
what did I miss? Sorry. Petho called me over because she's giving Jin a bath. He shat himself, and he like stepped in it.
Oh, poor thing.
No, he's a fucking idiot. Poor thing.
One of the Birdie app. Okay, cool. Let me see here. Bring that up.
What'd I miss?
No, I just went over, like, I just started going into the context of, like, the things leading into this and how Trump was basically going over NATO and in the EU's head and unilaterally negotiating directly with Putin for a peace treaty of some kind. And I think that's why Zelenskyy was going into this very contentiously, because he was left out of those initial negotiations. That's why Trump kept saying, you don't have the cards here, over and over again, because he's right, because here's the thing about Ukraine is that Zelenskyy, there's no panacea great outcome for Ukraine here. They're either going to continue throwing bodies into the meat grinder, just maintaining a war front that Putin will absolutely win in a war of attrition in that regard. And it's either that and just maintain the status quo as you just feed bodies into the meat grinder, or you're going to have to make some land concessions and some resource concessions. And that's where the mineral deal comes from, because Trump basically came to Zelenskyy and was like, well, we've given you $170 billion worth of resources, which is about half of the total resources that you've gotten from the West in general. The other half coming from, EU nations and the like, Britain especially. And it's like, but the problem is that Biden gave all that money to Zelenskyy, not as a loan, but basically as a grant, meaning that they don't have to get paid back. And Trump is like, fuck that. And at first he was like, give us half $500 billion. Fuck you. But then he realized that that's not really doable, because all the money, you have to remember that a lot of this money, it's not like sent as cash in pallets on a plane to Ukraine, and then Zelenskyy picks it up in a truck or whatever, and it gets distributed to the military. That's not how it happens. A lot of this money is actually spent as defense contracts stateside. So we have stockpiles of this and that, and we give those stockpiles to Zelenskyy to fight his war. That's why I was saying I gave you javelins, right?
Yeah.
And then a bunch of money is spent giving that money to American defense contractors to rebuild the stockpile. So it says, like, we've given you all of this money. That's what he really means. Not really cold hard cash. Or we're giving you this much money's worth of military supplies to use in your fight, and we're going to spend that money stateside on our own people, on our own defense contractors, to rebuild those stocks. But anyway, he's been going over Ukraine's head, which is like a massive like freak out from the global homo, liberal world order, because rules and processes is everything to that post Cold War era kind of politician that rules all of the West right now. We've been stuck in this fucking bullshit bureaucratic paradigm for the last 50 years. And Trump is like the first major world leader in the West to basically kind of give
fuck this. Phone calls. Just fucking talk to me.
Yeah, to basically just give a middle finger to that whole kind of process. So that's why Europe is freaking the fuck out right now. Because they're just like, you're going against like everything that we've built for the last half century. And if it works, then we're fucked. So they're not very happy about it. I'm going to catch up on chat here real quick. It's now openly using Bush era logic for foreign wars. Yep. Russia had a Cold War with the U.S. for 30 years. Russia are masters of attrition. Yeah, exactly. All of Russian strategy is war of attrition. So America, America fights with shock and awe. That shock and awe is our way of doing things typically. Whereas in Russia, it's the opposite. It's very much it's almost like old school medieval siege warfare, where you just surround a city, close off you blockade the ports, you blockade the trade, and then you just sit them out, right, until they're forced to sally forth out of the garrison. That's
and ironically, for as far as defenses for Russia, it's the same thing but backwards. Mm-hmm. Whereas instead, if someone the best someone can do is try to siege you, and if they do try to siege your country, they're gonna you can still. It's no longer a matter of resources necessarily. It's a matter of, can you take the cold?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So because they're just surrounded by fucking tundra.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's interesting too, because like the trade wars that Trump has been like threatening to initiate, and actually has pushed the button. You know, like when he did initiate the 25% trade against Canada and Mexico, that lasted 24 hours. You know, those tariffs, because they immediately came in and made new commitments that Trump was after, and then he's like, okay, we'll hold off the tariffs. You know, even though like the commitments for Canada had already been committed months earlier before Trump was president, like 90% of them. You know, but but the whole point of that exercise, I think, is that Trump, it was Trump basically showing everybody that he's ready to push that button. You know what I mean? He wants everyone to know that he'll push the fucking button. That's the point. And that freaks a lot of people out. So, but yeah, so this was like what was going on ahead of this. So, Trump spoke with Putin directly. He was on a call with him for 90 minutes. Let's see here. He said, meaningful conversation with Trump. President Trump shared details of his conversation with Putin. No one wants peace more than Ukraine. Together with the U.S., we are charting our next steps to stop Russian aggression and ensure a lasting, viable peace. As President Trump said, let's get it done. So this is Zelenskyy saying. After his call with Putin. European diplomats seemed unsure how to respond. See, this is again like Trump is like, he's basically doing he's negotiating peace treaties old school. He's going back to the old ways where he just like, you know, you just right up to the gates of the city and say, I demand an audience with your leader, and we're gonna figure this out right now. You know, you and me, mano a mano. And like the bureaucratic, you know, the bureaucrat bugmen are just like, you know, no, you know, they just don't know what to do. They're like literally frozen in fear.
No, that's my job. What are you doing?
Yeah. As they try
to supposed to take funds. Money has to cycle.
It says the brutal truth is, at a European Union level at least, relations with the new White House are so bad as to be virtually non-existent. There was no immediate comment from European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. The bloc's chief diplomat, Kaja Kallas, later posted on X that in any negotiation, Europe must have a central role, adding, Ukraine's independence and territorial integrity are unconditional. Our priority must now be strengthening Ukraine and providing robust security guarantees. And this is where Zelenskyy is coming into this meeting from, is these security guarantees. This is why he's like, I want commitment from the United States for boots on the ground. And that's why Trump is like, you're gambling with World War III. Because Trump is like, no fucking way we're going to put U.S. troops on the ground in Ukraine against Russia. Because now, at that point, first of all, the United States is a member of NATO. You know, the moment that happens, the moment there's a gunfire exchange between U.S. and Russian forces, you have just initiated an outright direct war between Russia and NATO, which is effectively World War III. That's what that is. So Trump is like, no fucking way we're putting American troops on the ground. Which is why, but then you have like other countries like France and Great Britain. You have Keir Starmer and Macron. They're talking to Trump. They're talking to Zelenskyy because those are the two countries that are probably going to have boots on the ground. Which again is still a NATO intervention, a direct NATO conflict. But they want that as a security guarantee. They're basically saying, we are going to be here as peacekeepers. So if there's any fighting, it's going to be initiated by Russia, and that way NATO will have the ability to claim defense, essentially, rather than offense, from the demilitarized zone that they're going to set up in Ukraine. So there's like this really shaky kind of plan of putting actual like NATO troops on the ground, but Trump doesn't want to have anything to fucking do with that. And that's why Europe is freaking out. Because Trump is looking at it like a business transaction, right? Which is where the mineral deal comes in. So this is the mineral deal that led up to this meeting. Ukraine and the U.S. have outlined an agreement in which they would jointly fund Ukraine's future security and reconstruction using an investment fund powered by the country's rare earth minerals. Zelenskyy said that the deal would fail if it did not adequately provide for Ukraine's future security against Russia and only looked after American interests. But so this is the thing, though, is that Zelenskyy wants military security, essentially. That's what he wants. But here's the thing, though, is that if Ukraine essentially becomes an economic vassal state of the United States, which is what it effectively will become, if Zelenskyy says we're going to set up a fund and $500 billion worth of minerals will be granted to given, basically the United States has dibs on those materials over the next 10 years or whatever. That turns
Russia's not gonna fuck with you because they don't want to fuck with America.
Exactly. It's like if Russia fucks with Ukraine, now Russia is fucking with a key resource pipeline for America. So by fucking with Ukraine, they're effectively fucking with America without having American troops and stuff on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. If you put American troops, it becomes a more direct conflict. If not only that, it's you're putting American troops right on the border with Russia, right? So you're effectively asking America to basically throw their hat into the ring with Russia, to become Russia's opposition, which Trump obviously doesn't want to do.
And the other, yeah, exactly. And the other element to this that like the Europeans are looking at this through is the fact that there's Trump is already he pulled out of the WHO, right? If even without American boots on the ground, because America is still a member of NATO, right? So if other European countries like Britain and France put boots on the ground and they end up in a hot war with Russia, now NATO's in a war and America's a part of NATO. But if America isn't directly involved, there's a good chance that Trump just pulls out of NATO. And if America pulls out of NATO, NATO is sunk.
Yep.
NATO gets sunk. And the thing is, if he pulls out of NATO, he's going to pull out of the UN as well, and the UN is also sunk. A lot of these countries, a lot of these European countries are, they're freaking out because they have basically been using Americans' military might as a crutch for so damn long that they don't really know. And in fact, there's been a response to this. A lot of the European countries are declaring emergency military ramp ups. We're going to go back to manufacturing our own military shit. There's a company in Norway, I think, that basically is the biggest naval fuel supplier in the country, who basically said we're not going to, because of this exchange that just happened in the Oval Office, we're going to reject fuel requests for any American vessel, including American military vessels. And I think it's a submarine. I think it was a submarine has already been turned away from the port on a refueling request. So the tensions between Europe and America are getting very, very strained. But Europe is basically engaging in militarization. How do you think the welfare state's going to be over in Europe when they start dedicating all of the? You have to remember, think about Germany. Germany is a great example. Germany is Russia's bitch right now because they gave up all of their energy independence to Russia. They went all in on the green agenda, they fucked their energy economy, and now they're piping in the majority of their energy from Russian natural gas and coal and shit. So it's and again, this is why Europe is freaking out, because they're basically being forced to abandon their global homo liberal project. They have to go back to being fully capable, militarized nation states that can defend themselves, and there ain't no room for paying for some military trans person's genital removal surgery anymore. A lot of this, this lefty shit is, what do you think is going to happen to all that in the next few years if all these European countries are suddenly forced to remilitarize?
Yeah, it's all going out the fucking window.
All out the window, and that's what they're freaking the fuck out about. It's the whole European project is crumbling. essentially.
Marcus says you need to explain that to Europeans. A lot of us seriously think that US needs us more than we need them. I think one of the easiest ways to explain that to a European is to tell them that Texas has a higher GDP than Canada. You just tell them that, and that kind of puts into perspective that that kind of just puts into perspective that like our states are literally like countries.
California is the 5th largest economy in the world.
Yeah, and we have a collection of 50 of them. We have 50 countries as part of our nation.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. That's literally all you have to do. Just be like, okay, and you understand that a handful of states in the U.S. make more money than like entire countries in the world.
Entire blocks of countries. Like think of like the Baltic bloc, you know, for example.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like
so it's just like
yeah.
You really have to kind of put into perspective how incredibly fucking tiny all the countries in Europe are. And then remember that, you know, America is a collection of 50 of those countries, you know, mostly united.
Well, in a way, the United States is kind of like the European bloc as a whole. It's kind of similar. I think that the states, you know, in terms of like the states serve, you know, they have their own independence under the 14th and 10th Amendments, or 10th Amendment, the 10th Amendment. But at the same time, they're also united under a full federal, you know, umbrella. You know, and like the European equivalent of that is the European Union. Yeah. The military side of it is NATO, although NATO expands beyond Europe, obviously. And, you know, then you also have to think about, like, how is the East going to react to this? You know, because you have to remember that, like, China would really love Russia to continue funneling a ton of their resources into the war. You know what I mean? Because the more resources Russia pours into the war with Ukraine, the more China gains economic control over Russia, because China is economically backing Russia. You know, and then you think, okay, what is Japan going to do? Japan's probably going to ally with the United States, I think. Because the United States is the primary thing that's defending them against China. But even then, you know, Trump recently said that he said that Taiwan basically like stole the chip, the microchip manufacturing business away from America, and he wants to bring it back, which is basically like a CHIPS Act 2.0. I went over this with you like months ago, the microchip manufacturing situation over in Taiwan, and how they manufacture like 90% of the computer chips, and how Biden passed that CHIPS Act, but it was basically kiboshed because of literal DEI bullshit. And they ended up just going to other countries. So, you know, there's a lot of dominoes. There's a lot of puzzle pieces, a lot of chess pieces that goes into this whole, into all this. But yeah, this whole thing was predicated on this rare earth minerals deal that was actually set up by Marco Rubio. So Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State, I believe. And he's the one that was in Ukraine, basically negotiating with Zelenskyy this minerals deal. And Zelenskyy just rug pulled Rubio, because Rubio in this video, you don't really see him much, but this guy right here, the pair of hands, that's Marco Rubio. He's the one that he's been talking about. He's the one who's been arranging this minerals deal. And so he's just sitting there feeling absolutely sandbagged by this whole thing, because Zelenskyy walked out of this without signing the minerals deal. This is the Ukrainian ambassador during the exchange.
Yeah. She's so annoyed. She's like, dude, you cannot be serious right now.
She's like, what are you doing? He's right. You don't have the cards here. We don't have the cards here. It's like, because this is the thing, like, Ukraine has like this Faustian deal ahead of them. Either they get just stuck in an endless bloodshed with Russia, and they know that Russia will eventually win that war of attrition, you know, or they become an economic vassal state of either the United States, Europe, or both of us. You know what I mean? And so she's sitting here like, why are you like eyeboshing? Like, obviously you'd rather be a vassal state of the United States than fucking Russia. Obviously, you know? And so she's just putting her hand in her forehead, just going, what are you doing? Why are you like, why are you pushing us into, you know, all, you know, away from, you know, the American deal, essentially. And then after all this happened, Trump put out this statement over on Truth Social. He said, we had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. Amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelenskyy is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace. He dissed for the United States of America, its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. Then, let's see here. And then this was like pretty wild, actually. Of all people, Lindsey Graham. Do you know who Lindsey Graham is?
No.
Well, Lindsey Graham is this like old neocon. He's this old boomer neocon. You know, very much like a war hawk kind of guy. He's been like super pro, funding Ukraine since the beginning. And even he went out and came out like right after this meeting and was just like, Zelenskyy, you have to go.
All right. So, what I think? Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelenskyy this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelenskyy do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know. What would he need to do, sir?
So, even Lindsey Graham, who chat's saying, he doesn't have enough of a spine to be considered a war hawk. Okay, a war worm then. There you go, Bear. But yeah, Tailfin's got it right. Lindsey Graham has never seen a war he didn't like. That's who Lindsey Graham is. And he's just like, yeah, we if we want peace, we can't do it with Zelenskyy. That's what he's saying here.
Yeah.
And then, if you look over at the local polls over in Ukraine, things aren't looking good, very good for Zelenskyy. They've already called, one of the MPs for Ukraine has already called for his impeachment. And he's got his, one of his generals is running against him. And he is in the lead. Look at this, 42 to 22, 41 to 23.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this is where it was in November 2023. Zelenskyy had a 17-point lead over this guy. Now, he already had a lead as of March 1st, 2024. And he's maintained that lead all the way up until now, basically. So if there's an impeachment and an election is held, Zelenskyy isn't long for the presidency.
I can imagine his general wants fucking out, dude. He's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he does.
A former general, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? This is not this is not sound.
Yeah, Tailfit is correct. Zelenskyy, the only reason Zelenskyy is in power is because of a coup that America backed back in 2014. This is entirely true. This was all brought up during the Hunter Biden Burisma scandal. Remember that, chat? Remember the Hunter Biden Burisma scandal? Do you remember the Burisma scandal, Rosa?
Yes.
Yeah. So, because you have to remember that. Remember, Ukraine was like the most corrupt country in all of Europe right until the day they got invaded by Russia, and then overnight, they could do no wrong. Remember, that always bugged the shit out of me. Like, I'm no fan of Putin, trust me, but I'm not a fan of Ukraine either. As far as I'm concerned, it's two corrupt states going after each other.
I am a fan of Putin. But only because he takes really cool pictures of himself shirtless.
He does, doesn't he? Again, I was telling chat while you were gone how, like, Putin is not a fool. Putin has, he's very, very intelligent. You know what I mean? You can hate on him or love him. It doesn't matter what you think about him. He's incredibly smart. He has.
I don't like him, but I am a fan. You know, it's like when you like watch a show and you're like, man, that's a good villain.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about.
I get exact. I know exactly. I know exactly what you mean. I get it. Like you look at him and he's the kind of person that like. Yeah, it's like I don't like the guy, but like there's some level of respect that you can have for people that you don't like. You know.
Yeah.
And. You know, but Putin, he's very knowledgeable of statecraft. The guy's an ex-KGB agent. He knows his shit. He knows how to be Machiavellian. He knows how to be direct. He knows statecraft. He knows warcraft. He knows this shit. He knows how to run things. You know what I mean? He's really, really smart. Zelenskyy was a comedian before he was the president, and he was installed.
No, I think he's still a comedian.
Fair enough. Two things can be true at the same time, I guess. But it's just the whole thing is a shit show, and I actually have a feeling that Zelenskyy will probably bleh. I think there's a good chance that he actually faces impeachment and gets ousted, and then all the peace treaties, like the new guy is gonna get in, basically saying, I'm just gonna agree to everything that the Americans want, and we're gonna be done. Like we're gonna. You know, we'll cede this territory. We'll create a demilitarized zone. You know, we'll talk with, you know, Britain. You know, because Keir Starmer, he was all gung ho about putting, you know, boots on the ground in Ukraine until he talked to Trump, which happened like the day before this blow up in the Oval Office with Zelenskyy. Keir Starmer, he reneged. You know, because Trump was like, what are you thinking? You know, putting NATO boots on the ground in hot conflict with Russia, not a good idea.
Yeah, bro, your country's already been invaded by Muslims.
So
shut up.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like when you talk about like this rapid militarization. If the United States pulls out of NATO at the UN and forces Europe to engage in rapid militarization, do you think that they're going to meet the recruiting requirements of those countries?
No.
Hell no. Do you think that a bunch of these Muslim immigrants that have zero connection or care about the existence of Germany or France or wherever the fuck, you know what I mean? No, absolutely not. No, they've imported a bunch of unloyal economic leeches, essentially. It's like, because that's the other thing I think that it's freaking them out is that rapid militarization is going to require like a reestablishment of like strict border security and the like, and probably even like militarization of the border. Like, there's all these things that are going to basically have to happen for successful rapid militarization of the continent, and they're terrified of all those things that have to happen because it goes against everything that they've been standing for the last 50 years, essentially. But it's like, it's really interesting. We'll see. I mean, like Trump said, if anything, it's sure as hell is damn good television. So. And here's the thing, though, is that Zelenskyy, he's spoken to people. You know, he's done public interviews with Brett Baer. He's made statements and stuff like that. He's like, no, this was, you know, I don't see this as like a bad thing. You know, this is negotiating. You know, like I'm still confident that we can find like a peaceful end to this. You know what I mean? Which I think he's full of shit.
Yeah.
But you know. Okay. I think that's all I have on this topic for now. Man, there's so much happens every single day in the political realm. It's really difficult to keep up. So
Which is funny because it wasn't like this.
oh god, I know. It's
just Trump is very much like a we're gonna do stuff. We're not just gonna sit here and leech fucking government money.
He engages
for 4 years.
Well, he told Elon to like be more aggressive with Doge. He's like, you're not being aggressive, like, because Doge has been causing a ton of like huge waves across these agencies and stuff like that. And Trump was like, you need to be more aggressive, Elon. You know what I mean? It's like, geez. He very much fits like this the great man theory of history.
Yeah.
Trump very much fits that mold. And he seems to like adhere to it as best as he can every single day. So yeah, that's what I got on the
rookie numbers, Elon.
Rookie numbers, Elon. Elon has his flaws, but generally I like him. He has like all the baby mamas he keeps producing and stuff like that. I wish he would knock that shit off. And he's done some shady shit. You know, he has like a bullshit charity foundation that has 0 employees and stuff like that. You know, there's some shady shit going on with Elon, but generally, overall, I like him. He's one of the very few people doing things in the world that's actually inspiring to like whole generations of people. You know, like the things he's doing with SpaceX. This is the first time I can remember since I was like single digits back in the 80s. You know, like actually feeling inspired on a national level. You know what I mean? And like Elon is doing things with SpaceX. Like I'm confident that I'm gonna be alive during the first manned mission to Mars. Sorry, you know what I mean? Like, I just being alive to witness like essentially like the Neil Armstrong of Mars is just mind blowing to me. Be
a great man. You don't have to be a good man. That's true.
But yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Most quote unquote great men weren't the best of men. But that really is a theory. And Trump is very much in the mold of the great man theory of like the way the pre-liberal world order, the rules-based system, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting time. Very interesting time. Okay. Let's shift away from Ukraine, unless you've got anything else to add. I'll let you.
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm good.
Let's shift over to the shit that's going on in South Africa, shall we? So I've been sitting on this for about a month, honestly, waiting to pull the trigger on it. But this was like, I was like, okay, I might as well just do it now. And the thing that triggered it was this. So the headline reads, Ramaphosa signs expropriation bill into law. Okay, so context. Who is Ramaphosa? Ramaphosa is the new president. Huh?
Yeah.
He is the new
president.
He's the current president of South Africa. He is with the ANC party, which stands for the African National Congress. And he still has the vast majority of the vote at 40%. The next in second place is only at 21%, about half that, followed closely by 14.5%, who I'm pretty sure siphoned off people from the ANC party. A little bit of
Jacob Zuma. That guy? Jacob Zuma ran again?
Yeah, so this is the new party that's making waves as of the 2024 elections in South Africa. But I'm gonna get to who these guys are in a bit.
New party?
Yeah, it's a brand new party, kind of like Reform UK, They didn't really make.
Wasn't Zuma the president like just a few years ago?
A lot of these guys were.
4 ages ago?
Yeah. Zuma was the president. Actually, I have a window up for him.
I like how it's like black guy, random white guy named John.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this
No,
is like
this
John,
African president.
this guy he leads what's called, I think it's called the Democratic Alliance, I think is the name of the party, the DA party. I have his window open too, so I was prepared for this. He is, where is it?
Look at him. He looks
Democratic Alliance.
Like American person.
I know. He looks like a very American dude.
If I was to say, hey, show me a picture of an American man, right? And I asked a cartoon artist to draw me a stereotypical American man. This is what I'm thinking.
I would think draw me the mayor of Houston, and I would get this guy.
Yeah.
So he is the leader of the Democratic Alliance Party. The Democratic Alliance Party is the only party that's it's like a center-right party in the country. By African standards, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know enough about South African politics to know, because we know that, right-wing in, Britain is not what right-wing means in America. You know what I mean? They're not the same thing. So when I say center-right, I mean by their local scale of what right and left is. Which means he's probably left. Jacob, the guy who runs
Jacob Zuma,
the MK party. He is, let's see here. He is a self-described socialist. President with support of a left-wing coalition. Of course he is. The MK party stands for the, let's see here.
939,003,060,000. Wait. Oh.
Wait, what?
Have you never watched the videos of Jacob Zuma?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, hold on. You need to look up Jacob Zuma on YouTube right now.
Okay. Okay, hang on.
Oh my god. Wait, hold on. This man might be the dumbest man alive, which is why I'm surprised he's running again. Yeah, go look him up. Look him up.
Okay. Jacob Zuma. I don't know,
just look up Jacob Zuma counting or something. You'll find what I'm talking about.
Okay,
but put him on the stream. Yeah, Zuma trying to read is so funny. This man is straight up illiterate. Show on screen though, I can't see. Let me see. There you go.
I'm working on it. God, give me a sec.
Give me audio.
Huh?
Audio.
I know.
Audio.
We announced that our membership figures stood at 700. Listen properly.
Speak properly.
And 69,820.
Oh, dance.
And 70 members, down from 100.2 million in 2012.
Okay.
Dude, if you think of Jacob Zuma funny, you'll find a huge yo, hold on, just please look up Jacob Zuma funny moments, and you'll find I need you to understand who this man is. Okay, I need you to understand.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect compilation. 8-minute compilation.
Speaker, I don't know whether members want to play politics. Firstly, people every day say something about President Zuma in this country. Should I stand every day, tag everybody to court? You say a lot of things about me. Should I do so? If I were
you can
do
take
so,
me to court. You can, no,
He's answering
this is
you,
not your house. This is not your house.
Can I just say something that I fucking love the way English sounds with African accents. It just,
Same, I love it too.
I fucking love the way the English language sounds coming out of an African person because of their accent. I love it.
Honorable Malema. Honorable Malema.
Here. This is our house.
No, Honorable Malema,
you can take action against me. You can take action against me.
This is. Oh, I know who this guy is. These red suit wearers. They're all part of a party called the EFF, which is the Economic Freedom Fighters Party. We're gonna get to them. This is their leader. We're gonna get to them.
Who is this guy outside of the moon? He is that guy.
Yeah.
Listen to him. That's him laughing.
I don't take actions against people like yourself, generally. I don't do it.
That's back when he was president, I think. Back in like 2009.
Yeah. So.
Zuma must go. Zuma must go. Zuma must go.
There's the protesters.
Zuma must fall. Zuma must fall. Zuma must fall. Zuma must fall. Zuma.
If you guys need a substitute, I am indeed available.
I don't understand. Why do you think this president must then evaluate? As soon as there is a pity, then you evaluate. Evaluate is pity. Can't be. Thank you, Madam.
When we were saying he must resign, he asked, what have I done? We know he has auctioned the country. What an exaggeration from a lawyer. He can't tell you auction what? What? Did I auction Table Mountain? Or auction Johannesburg? I don't know. The man is sitting, where I'm sitting now. Zuma has auctioned the country. That's why we said he must go.
Yeah, but he referred to himself with a third person like a wrestler.
He does it all the time.
Okay.
Bro's white facing here.
Okay.
This isn't a very, very good compilation.
I'll look him up later. It's okay.
But,
It's okay.
Yeah,
I get
funny.
it. You know what you'll have to do? You'll have to find like what you think is the funniest moment with him, and you'll do it in the clips of the week sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, but the current president though is
Wait, hold
this
on.
guy.
I have one request. I have one last clip I want you to look up. It's very short.
Okay, send it to me.
It's called, just look up Jacob Zuma in the beginning.
In the beginning?
In the beginning.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's the first thing that comes up. Right here?
Yeah.
Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning. In the beginning. Yeah. In the
Listen properly.
In the beginning. Yeah. In the beginning. In the beginning.
Okay, that was funny. That was fucking funny. Now, to be fair, English is not these guys' first language, I assume, right?
Oh, really funny. It's so funny. Because he struggles to read numbers. Well, English is like the main language of South Africa.
Is it? Okay. I guess that makes sense, yeah, because it's an apartheid state. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hold
He kind of reminds me of David Lammy, that retard in Britain. But
They have 11 official languages, English and Afrikaans, and 9 ethnic languages, which Zulu and Xhosa are the most widely spoken. Most of them communicate in more than one language. English is the most commonly spoken and the language of official business and commerce.
Okay, so he should know English. He should know the word beginning.
But he can't read words. Bro just can't read. He talks just fine, but he can't read. It's really funny. In the beginning. In the beginning. A little shake, a little shimmy.
I know. That's funny.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Okay. So, this guy, Cyril Ramaphosa, is the current president, and he's with the ANC party, or what is it? Where is it? African National Congress. So they've been in power for a good amount of time now, but like as you can see from the last election, they still lost 71 seats. They lost a lot of seats in the last election. Like they're getting flipped at the heels by the only right-wing party, quote unquote, is led by the white guy, of course. Zuma's new party, the MK party. And then in fourth place is Julius Malema of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party. Now, I'm sure people in chat know who this guy is. I'm not going to show this guy to you quite yet. I'm going to blue ball you a little bit as I tell this story. So, let's start with what the catalyst for all this was, which is Ramaphosa signs this expropriation bill into law. So, the bill repeals the Apartheid-era Expropriation Act of 1975. The presidency said that Section 25, the Constitution recognizes expropriation as an essential mechanism for the state to acquire someone's property for a public purpose or in the public interest. This is land appropriation from the white farmers. That's what this is. That's what this whole thing is. It says this is subject to just and equitable compensation being paid. This is, in America, it's rarely done, but it's called eminent domain here in America. Currently, the expropriation of property has been governed in terms of the Expropriation Act of 1975, which predates the creation of the Constitution. The bill outlines how the president can expropriate land and on what basis. This law will assist all organs of state, local, provincial, and national authorities to expropriate land in the public interest for varied reasons. Local, provincial, and national authorities will use this legislation to expropriate land in the public interest for varied reasons that seek, among others, to promote inclusivity and access to natural resources. They're DEIing the farms under the threat of getting shot. The bill repeals the Expropriation Act and provides a common framework in line with the Constitution to guide the processes and procedures for expropriation of property by organs of state. However, the presidency noted that, under the law, an expropriating authority cannot expropriate property arbitrarily or for a purpose other than a public purpose or in the public interest. That's the thing. Who gets to decide what's in the public interest? Like, it's a bullshit thing. It said that the expropriation cannot be exercised unless the expropriating authority has failed to reach an agreement with the owner or holder of a right in property on reasonable terms. Who decides what terms are reasonable? Like, they use all of these fucking vague, wishy-washy language to justify this bullshit. It worked so well in Zimbabwe, went from Africa's rich breadbasket to a failed state. I'm getting to that, Viking. Trust me. I'm prepared. Let's see. And then it just goes on and on. But yeah, so basically they just legalize land compensation for quote unquote the public interest. There were some interesting reactions on this. Communist thieves and murderers is all they are. Bantus are intent on stealing the Boers farms. The Boers are like white South Africans. Bantus cannot get the land back because it was never theirs in the first place, which is true. They're from the Congo. They just feel all the land in South Africa is theirs because they're black. It's a racial supremacist movement. And then we have here, land in South Africa can now be taken from white farmers without compensation. This is the outcome after meeting with the WEF. So this is true. The president did. This is what we just read.
So if the white farmers leave, we'll be fine in SA.
If the white farmers leave, then we are going to enter civil war. Because people are going to come into your house to get food. The hungry will eat the rich. The quickest we can get to a very abnormal situation is for people not to have food. Okay? True. This is why our government is making efforts to have these 350 grants, and we don't like them as taxpayers, but let the people go hungry. Then you will see. And we are very close. Very close. Very close. The poverty in this country is real. And people don't have the skill to grow their own food.
Mm-hmm.
He's right.
He's 100% correct.
Everything he just said was so correct.
Mm-hmm. And now we get to the Zimbabwe. So the South African government has signed into law that they can take land away from you if they want it. Zimbabwe 2.0. They're free to take everything I own in South Africa, which is nothing. I wasn't ever given anything, and when I left South Africa, I only had the clothes on my back. Okay. What the hell happened in Zimbabwe? Well, it started with Mugabe doing land seizures. So this is from 25 years ago. This is way back in the year 2000. This is pre 9/11 is when this happened. Hundreds of Zimbabwe's white farmers prepared to leave their land yesterday, following Robert Mugabe's announcement of the seizure of 804.
I was literally a month old.
Yeah.
When the story. No, it's a lie. I was
June 2000 is when this was
12
published.
days old. I was like, oh my god, days old.
Mm-hmm. So Mugabe announces the seizure of 804 mostly white-owned farms for the resettlement of poor black farmers. We get into that. I don't know how to even begin leaving my farm, said Jim Sinclair, a white farmer faced with eviction by early next month. So this was like an extreme. It was entirely like a racial thing. It's like we're not apartheid. We're past apartheid. Therefore, blacks just get to own everything because they're black. So they kicked all the white farmers off the farms, gave them to a bunch of poor black people, and what happened? Mass starvation happened. So Zimbabwe on the verge of man-made starvation, warns a UN convoy. Food shortages affecting 60% of the country's population threaten to make political instability even worse. Zimbabwe is on the brink of man-made starvation, with close to 60% of the population now food insecure.
It's insane.
After an 11-day visit to parts of the country worst hit by the El Nino-induced drought, Elver, who's this UN special reporter, said that the widespread food insecurity was being exacerbated by hyperinflation. The people of Zimbabwe are slowly getting to a point of suffering a man-made starvation. By the way, the whole Mugabe thing, if I'm right, chat, this was like during the transition from what was formerly Rhodesia, right? It was Rhodesia before, and then these black race communists came in, essentially engaged in a racial cleansing of the farmlands, and now they all starve to death, which is a very common thing among communist regimes.
Yeah.
Make Zimbabwe Rhodesia again. Dude, Rhodesians are fucking tough as hell, by the way. They were great. Rhodesia was it was like one of, if not the greatest country in all of the African continent before the communist tank took over. So they talk about drought, they talk about the farmers' inability to keep up with food, and we have this: 2.7 million Zimbabweans need food aid. And then the creme de la creme, Zimbabwe to cull 200 wild elephants to feed communities facing severe hunger during a drought. This was last year. Not even last year. September 2024. This was like 6 months ago.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it hasn't gone well
Bro.
over there.
Bro.
So,
You're going back to fucking like hunting. Like
Yeah.
hunter gathering, because they fucking
well, I think this also
Retarded,
happened in
dude.
like in Haiti. They did a similar thing in Haiti, and they ended up like eating rats in the streets and shit like that. Every time that these communists try to, every time the communists come in and take the farms, everybody starves to death. That's just the way it goes. So this is the precedent. This is the precedent. This is what is likely to happen in South Africa. Is what happened to Zimbabwe, or I should say, what happened to Rhodesia. We have South Africa's ANC is desperately trying to follow Robert Mugabe's path and destroy their country with land seizure, as he destroyed his with the same, bringing with it famine and hyperinflation. Exactly what I just said. Okay, now let me get back to these elections. Like, who is the ANC? Well, the ANC is this guy's party. They are socialists. They are race communists. Oh, it says right here, MK. Oh, this is what the MK party stands for. Umakonto Wesizwe. It's fun to say. That's what MK stands for. Okay, so I teased before this fourth place party, the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, led by Julius Malema. Julius Malema, this guy. Have you ever seen this famous video?
Alright, come on, sir.
I'm nothing.
Alright, kita, kilame, hirwata, tamarumo, hasicha.
Huh?
I think I have seen this actually.
This is a really famous clip. What this is. But this is a political rally, I think from not 2004. This is a 2018 political rally, I believe.
Where were you when I'm sick? Where were you when I'm there? So far, sketchy. So far, sketchy. At 13, kichi, kichima. Sipram Konto Alliance. Shoot to kill. Come on, sir. Kill the poor.
Kill the
farmer.
The farmer.
Kill the poor.
Kill the poor.
The farmer.
The farmer.
Brr, pa. Pa. Brr, pa. Pa. Attention.
Skia. Tum 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 tum. Boom boom. Yeah, okay, I've seen this.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's an electrifying performance, to be sure.
I didn't recognize it at first. I started yelling the kill the boa. I was like, yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really, really famous clip. It was actually made famous recently because Elon got wind of it and retweeted it and be like, what the fuck's going on in South Africa, guys? Why isn't the ANC, the political party in charge, condemning this? Because they're not.
They're for it.
Well, this EFF is essentially like the militant wing of the communists and socialists of the country. And they got 10% of the vote in this last 2024 election. You know, they got 10.8%, 44 seats. They lost a few. It was technically they've gone down a bit. But it's like, you don't think that, you know, Cyril over here in the ANC or Jacob Zuma don't like tacitly endorse this guy? I have a hard time believing that they don't. If Wakanda was real, this is what it would look like. I mean, yeah. But you see this kind of stuff, I mean, and it goes viral, especially when Elon gets a hold of it, because Elon has a direct line to Trump. And Trump reacted after this law was passed. You know, Elon got in his ear and be like, hey, they're like a significant portion of South Africa is like all gung-ho about genociding every white person in the country. And they're right now engaging in bullshit laws that give them power to seize all of their land and kick them off, you know, their lands and stuff like that. So Trump accuses South Africa of massive human rights violation over land policy and suspends all aid. He has offered to resettle white South African farmers and their families as refugees under the country's refugee admissions program for Afrikaners. However, the descendants of early Dutch and French settlers don't look eager to migrate to the U.S. It's interesting. But I see that. I see why, though, because this is their homeland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is their homeland. So, like, of course they're not going to be gung-ho about, you know, resettling in a whole different country and on the other side.
That'd be like if Black Americans are like, oh my god, you guys, place is so racist, blah 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 blah. We're like, hey, we'll give you an opportunity to just go to Africa. They'd be like, no. It's cool. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yes, their historical, right, like lineage didn't start here, but they grew up here. Their parents grew up here. Their grandparents might have also grown up here. Their great-grandparents were probably the ones that were brought here.
They've been there long enough where they now have a stake in the history and the community of you know, on which they live. You know what I mean? They actually they have a stake now.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with these like again these like Dutch and like French. Like descendants, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, they're like great however the fuck was French or Dutch or whatever, right? Their grandpa maybe, right? But they grew up there.
Well, it's
you
not
know,
just
that's their home.
It's not just that.
That's
but,
where they
like,
were born.
It's also like an abstract idea to like say like, well, you know, you know, where do you draw that line of like when they start to have a connection versus when they don't? Because if you know, you put the line back far enough, everybody eventually has settler roots somewhere. You know, like, because even like it's now like on the anthropological side of things, the whole like out of Africa thing is like turning out to not be real. You know.
Oh yeah.
So it's
that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Humanity didn't originate in one little part of the world. You know, that's turned out to be bullshit.
There, yeah, it's not true.
The out of Africa thing is a lie. But yeah, Trump, he reacted to this and he said, South Africa is confiscating land and treating. I'm just gonna go to the tweet. Let's see. Is treating certain classes of people very badly. It is a bad situation that the radical left media doesn't want to so much as mention. A massive human rights violation is happening for all to see. The United States won't stand for it. We will act. Also, because of this, I will be cutting off all aid to South Africa until further notice. Now, so Trump took really quick action and immediately gained the support of the Boers. White South Africans gathered in support of Trump and his claims that they are victims of racism. Pretoria, South Africa. What a fucking badass sounding name. It's like it's such a Roman name for a city.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Some white South Africans showed support for President Donald Trump on Saturday and gathered at the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria to claim that they are victims of racism by their own government. Hundreds of protesters held placards that read "Thank God for President Trump" and displayed other messages criticizing what they see as racist laws instituted by the South African government that discriminate against the white minority. Because you also have to remember that, like, the whites don't own all the farms. They own, like, 70-ish% of the farms. So they don't actually own all of the farms. Many were from the Afrikaner community that Trump focused on in an executive order a week ago that cut aid and assistance to the black-led South African government. In the order, Trump said South Afrikaners, who are descendants of mainly Dutch colonial settlers, were being targeted by a new law that allows the government to expropriate private land. The South African government has denied its new law is tied to race and says Trump's claims over the country and the law have been full of misinformation and distortions. Of course he has. He wants his funding back. But Trump said that land was being expropriated from Afrikaners, which the order referred to as racially disfavored landowners, when no land has been taken under the law. Trump also announced a plan to offer Afrikaners refugee status in the U.S. They are only part of South Africa's white minority. This is true. Like, the Afrikaners is like a minority of a minority, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's specifically Dutch, descendants of Dutch settlers. Let's see. In a speech to Parliament this week, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said the forced removal of any people from their land will never be allowed in South Africa, again after millions of blacks were dispossessed of property under the apartheid system of white minority rule and hundreds of years of colonialism before that. The dirty little secret is that if you go to Africa and you talk about a lot of the old black people that lived under apartheid and are still alive today, a lot of them will tell you that things were better under apartheid. That's like a dirty little secret that nobody wants to tell you. And in fact, my boy Callum, do I have it? I thought I had a tweet from him somewhere. Yeah, my boy here, Callum, a COD secretary. He has gone to Zimbabwe and did like a dark tourism stint. He has a video on his channel called Britannica, I believe. Spends like an hour and a half just talking about Zimbabwe, and he interviews people about the apartheid era and all this other kind of stuff. And he just goes into, like, he talks to like old Rhodesians, people who fought whites and blacks who fought side by side against the communists. During the shift away from apartheid and all this other kind of stuff. It's a really, really interesting video. I highly recommend you to watch it. Yeah, the white South Africans are in Trump's court, and then as a response to that, South African party accuses white group of treason over Trump attack. And this was the MK party. So this is your boy Jacob Zuma's party.
In the Benin.
In the Benin.
In the Benin.
Benin.
in the Benin.
The party of South Africa's ex-president Jacob Zuma on Monday filed a treason complaint against AfriForum, a group championing the white Afrikaner minority, after Donald Trump attacked the country's new law aimed at redistributing white-owned land. AfriForum has lobbied against the law in U.S. media and political circles, portraying it as part of a wider onslaught against Afrikaners. Zuma's MK party accused it in a criminal complaint of spreading misinformation to influence Trump. So I don't really need to get into the details of this. There's just been a back and forth, and now there's levies of treason. Now they're calling treason against the white people, basically. Things aren't looking good. Things are not going in a good direction over there. And I never even mentioned the civil war going on in the Republic of Congo over on that continent. So, yeah. There's some bad stuff happening over in Africa. And I will keep tabs on it. And if I ever have a significant update, you'll hear it here. Any comments about this? Further?
No. I mean, I think they'll figure it out. They just have to get all. They just have to get all the farms and just get all the guys to just grow the food, and soon they'll have 939,003,060,000 food to share with everyone.
Well, I'm curious. My other curiosity angle in all of this, honestly, is how does China fit into all this? Because, if Trump, because China has been gobbling up, financial investments and stuff all over the continent of Africa, over the last couple decades, So I'm curious how, because there's like Chinese people all over the continent of Africa, like Chinese nationals, acting on behalf of the CCP. So I'm also curious how that factors into all of this turmoil and stuff like that going on. So we'll see. We'll see. Congo is being invaded by Rwanda. Yes, exactly. China's being smart about it. They're laying low and buying infrastructure. That's exactly what they're doing. They're buying and investing in infrastructure all across the continent. So we shall see what happens in the future. We good to move on? Those are the two big stories that I had tonight. Like really big ones. The rest of them should go relatively quick. So, because we're only 2 hours and 15 minutes in, so we're good. We've still got plenty of time. Okay, let me this out and switch over to my other set of tabs. Give me a minute to do that. Right, let me share this with you. Boom. All right. So this was freaking weird. Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa were found mummified at his mansion with pills strewn across the bathroom. This is going to be one of the most bizarre celebrity deaths I have ever heard.
Who's Gene Hackman? That's a crazy name.
Gene Hackman is...
He's the hacker of genes.
He is famous for playing Lex Luthor in the OG Superman movie.
Okay.
He also was like the big bad guy in The Quick and the Dead. Was it Quick and the Dead or Good, Bad, and the Ugly? Which one was it? I think it was Quick and the Dead. Who else was he? He was you know what? Let me just look him up real quick. See if I can. Gene Hackman. It was IMDb or something. He was also the coach in The Replacements, the Keanu Reeves football movie. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Unforgiven, The French Connection. Yep, The Quick and the Dead. Let's see. The Firm, The Replacements. That's the one I just said. Enemy of the State. Hoosiers. He was the coach in Hoosiers. Let me see here.
Naming movies from before Rosa was born is a sure way to get her to not know who he is. Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, this guy made a name for himself in the 80s and 90s for sure.
Okay.
But his main like breakout thing that was Lex Luthor in Superman, like the
Yeah.
original Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah.
But anyway, so him and his wife were found partially mummified at the couple's $3.5 million mansion with pills strewn in their bathroom. A search warrant.
Mummified.
Yeah. A search warrant obtained by DailyMail.com revealed Arakawa, 64. I think Hackman was like 95. And Arakawa is his wife. Was found decomposed with bloating on her face and mummification in her hands and feet. Sheriffs said Hackman was found to have the same signs of decomposition as his wife.
Hold on. Okay, they're gonna explain it. Hold on.
Yeah. Mummification occurs when a person's skin and tissues are preserved after their death, while most associated with ancient Egyptians wrapping the corpses of pharaohs in bandages. It can also be achieved if a body is left in a place with cold, dry air where bacteria struggles to grow. And Santa Fe is known to enjoy such a climate during the winter. The two maintenance workers called Roland Lowe Begay and Jesse Kessler discovered the bodies of Arakawa and her retired Hollywood star husband at the luxurious Santa Fe mansion Wednesday at 1:46 p.m. Mountain Time. The identities of Hackman and Arakawa were not released for nearly 12 hours, with details of how the couple were found now offering a possible explanation for the delay. Yeah, because it was when it was initially reported, it was him collapsed in like a hallway, his wife was dead in the bedroom, and one of their dogs was dead as well.
Fuck?
Yeah. When they found him, they had 3 dogs. 2 of them were outside and just kind of roaming around the property, and the other one was dead inside the house. So like there was like this initial idea that it was like a carbon monoxide poisoning thing, but that turns out to not be true. The detective noted in the search warrant that the death of the 2 deceased individuals to be suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. Arakawa was discovered lying on the bathroom floor of the couple's home on her right side with an open prescription bottle of pills scattered across a nearby countertop. No indication has been given as to what the pills were and whether they had been prescribed to Hackman or his wife. So this is him if you recognize him at all.
Oh, yeah, that's him in fucking 1993.
Yeah.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty Asian woman.
A space heater was found next to Arakawa's head, which investigators believe may have fallen. Hackman was found dead in a mudroom off of the couple's kitchen, the warrant said. Police first spotted his legs on the ground in what appeared to be a mudroom. You know what a mudroom is?
No.
A mudroom is like it's like a little entry room. So like if you go in through a door from the outside, there'll be like a little room where you could basically like kick off your boots and your jackets and stuff before you go into the house proper. That's why they call it a mudroom. So you kick off your muddy boots and it doesn't track into the house. You know that's what it is. The Oscar-winning Superman star was fully clothed in gray sweatpants, a blue color long-sleeved t-shirt, and brown slippers. His sunglasses and walking cane were found next to his body, suggesting he may have died of a sudden fall. Arakawa was wearing dark gray sweatpants and a light-colored sweatshirt. Firefighters were called to the property, but there were no signs of a gas leak. So that was like the initial hypothesis, was like it was like a carbon monoxide thing or a gas leak.
You think he fell, died, and then his wife was like, fuck this, and killed herself and ate some pills? Maybe some pills fell on the floor, dog ate one, died as well?
Maybe. I don't know. The whole thing is that like this all happened 9 days before. They died 9 days before they were discovered. It's like a gas leak. You can smell a gas leak. Like they literally put a smelling agent in there so that you can smell if there's a gas leak. Hackman's daughter Elizabeth had speculated earlier on Thursday that her father and stepmother may have been killed by a carbon monoxide leak. One of the couple's 3 dogs, a German Shepherd, was found dead about 10 to 15 feet away from Betsy in a closet just off the bathroom. Early reports had suggested the animal was found dead in a kennel. The couple's 2 other dogs were unharmed. One of the surviving dogs was found alive close to Betsy's body, with a second roaming the property. Okay, so one was still inside. So obviously, if it was carbon monoxide that killed them all, it would have killed that dog too. So this is him now. Like,
oh yeah,
he's rough. He's looking rough, but he's 95. You know.
Yeah.
The fact that he's able to walk with just a cane at 95 is actually pretty impressive. The couple's front door was open and there were no signs of forced entry. Santa Fe Sheriff's Department had said that there is no suggestion of foul play, but that an investigation is ongoing. Then just kind of goes into his history of how he met his wife and stuff like that. And then there was this. This is like a result of the investigation, is that his pacemaker stopped 9 days before they were found dead.
Lines up to when he died.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what they think. That his pacemaker just stopped working and he just collapsed. An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th. Let's see. The sheriff pointed out that the pathologist who shared the preliminary finds with him at 2 p.m. local time Friday said that they believed Hackman's last day of life was February 17th based on the pacemaker data. They tested negative for carbon monoxide. Sheriff also noted that it's unclear at this time whether Hackman or Arakawa died first, as they are still working on piecing together the timeline. Mendoza was joined by Santa Fe Fire Chief Brian Moya, who did not give any additional statements. Let's see. So that's how they found it. We already went over that. Sheriff's Office spokesperson told Page 6 early Friday that there did not appear to have been any criminal activity, but nothing was ruled out. So that's, I think, all they really have on him so far. There's no external trauma. Like, the timeline here is very strange. It's like, okay, let's say she dies first, right? I mean, obviously,
I don't think so. In fact, so my guess is he died first, of some fashion, and then she killed herself with pills. And I don't know, dog must have just fucking scarfed one down.
Yeah, if they were strewn out all over the counter, then one or two could have easily fallen down onto the floor. And then bam, the dog picks it up, gone, maybe. But yeah, so there's no external trauma. One of them just collapsed, and the other one probably OD'd. Let's see, deceased for quite a while, but would have OMI. New Mexico Gas Company tested gas lines. Yep, so there was nothing there. And they said the carbon monoxide and other toxicology test results are pending. There was no indication of a struggle, no indication of anything that was missing from the home or disturbed. So it's like, it's strange. The whole thing is very strange. But your guess is kind of what I was thinking, though, is that. But my thing is like, if she finds him collapsed, why wouldn't she call the police? Oh, my husband's died. Like, why? Unless she discovered him, immediately went into like shock or something like that, and then decided to end herself right there because she couldn't handle it or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to figure this one out perfectly. Then they they do the same thing here, but they just go through all the different Hollywood celebrities' reactions and stuff like that. So yeah, Gene Hackman dead under bizarre circumstances. It's just a really weird story.
That's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. But and that's the thing, that it is true that like Santa Fe is like a colder environment. It's in New Mexico, you know what I mean? But like, you don't have a mudroom unless you have to deal with snow. Like they're pretty common in a lot of places across the Rockies and the high deserts and stuff like that. It's not super common to snow in Santa Fe, but it does happen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, NDA is correct about that. I know because like if it snows in one place, it snows in Albuquerque too, and I lived in Albuquerque for a year, and yeah, it snowed a couple times during the winter time. Okay.
So weird. So bizarre.
It's just so strange. It's really strange. Okay, let's get on to like an actual like an avoidance of yet another airline tragedy.
Yippee! No tragedy today.
Yeah, we finally got a good ending to one. So, this is a Southwest plane that's landing on a runway. We're just gonna watch. Wait, chat can't hear this. No, that chat can't hear this. Hang on. Boom. Boom. Okay, now chat can hear it.
Also, not full screen for chat, so they're not seeing
the volume for this? Yeah, there is. Huh.
Chat's like missing the video.
What?
Chat's not seeing the full video. You have it cropped.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, the video's like in the center, so it's fine. But
yeah, that's true. They can see enough of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And honestly, the audio isn't like that big of a deal because there's no real audio to have, to be honest. So, coming in for a landing on this runway. You'll see right here. You see this little plane? Look at this little plane here. Watch him. So he's made touchdown. And then he sees the collision coming. And then immediately takes back off again. All because this little private business plane over here decided to just cross the runway. So good on this pilot for not panicking. He did what's called a go-around maneuver. Like pilots will do this, like if they can tell that the landing isn't going to be good, like it's going to cause problems, then they'll lift back up again, and then they'll do exactly as the name implies. They'll go around and reapproach and land. So that's basically what he did here. But like, kudos to the pilot, hella kudos for not panicking, seeing the accident before it happened, and then reacting appropriately.
Fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, and this little plane going across doesn't even stop. It doesn't even like think that it never even notices this landing plane. He's just going. Doesn't slow down or nothing. Fucking wild. This happened at Chicago Midway, by the way.
Who was in that little plane?
I think we'll know from the article. The Southwest Flight 2504 landed safely after the flight crew had to perform a go-around to prevent a potential collision. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the incident, which took place at around 8:50 a.m. local time. We don't believe that this was an air traffic control issue. I don't think it was either. This was totally the flight crew on board that little jet, the Flex jet. I think air traffic control was telling them do not enter the runway, and they did it anyway. So this is not an ATC error. This is entirely the flight crew of that jet's error. The private Bombardier Challenge 350 was managed by FlexJet, a company that provides private aircraft on a fractional ownership basis. The close call came as the two federal aviation agencies are investigating a string of safety incidents in recent weeks that we have covered extensively on this show. including the deadly mid-air collision over the Potomac River near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, a fatal medevac jet crash in Philadelphia, and a regional airline crash off the coast of Nome, Alaska that killed 10 people.
What's that one? I remember that one.
You don't remember the Alaska one?
Oh. They're all a blur at this point.
Well, I know that I covered the that fighter jet.
Yeah, I remember the fighter jet. That's not what this is, though.
Let me see.
What's this? The fuck is this?
Bodies of 10 people were killed when a regional airline flight crashed off the coast of western Alaska have been recovered and identified, authorities said Saturday. How did this miss my radar? All 10 individuals aboard the Bering airplane. This was published February 9th. It's only like 2 weeks ago.
No, at the start of March. What the fuck are you on about? Like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, how the fuck did I miss this one? There's too many of them. I can't keep up. Looks like the plane. Yeah, so it crashed and killed all 10 of those on board. Okay, these are 8 of them. The crash comes just a week after the American Airlines says that Okay, so this was a week after the Black Hawk collision at Reagan. It was a Cessna 208B Grand Caravan. Dropped in elevation and speed. Analyzing air traffic control data would be the key to the NTSB probe. Please understand there's some difficult conditions because this is on an ice flow, which is moving about 5 miles a day. What kind of event which caused them to experience a rapid loss in elevation and a rapid loss in speed? Sounds like an engine failure to me. Camera monitoring the weather in Nome showed that what appeared to be near whiteout conditions over several hours on the afternoon of the crash, according to CNN affiliate KTUU. Pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway in Nome to be cleared, according to an update Thursday. Okay. Wow, this one just completely missed me. Well then.
I didn't recognize that one.
Yeah, I was gonna. You're right. I was like, wait a minute. I saw Alaska and I thought about the thing. Well, you're right. I was like, wait a minute. That jet fighter was just one dude and it didn't kill him. He ejected safely. There was nothing gradual about it. It felt like the pilot had to make an emergency maneuver. Passenger Itai Vardi told the New York Times. American Airlines called it a standard go-around, nothing out of the usual. Well, except for like almost running into another plane.
Yeah, because the motherfucker's trying to kill you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
But it says air traffic control instructed the private jet to turn left on runway 4L, cross runway 31L, and hold short of runway 31C. Pilot replies saying, all right, left on 4L, cross 22 or 13C, FlexJet 560. Then the air traffic control on the ground immediately replies, FlexJet 560 negative, cross 31L, hold short runway 31C. Which then the pilot correctly acknowledges. Air traffic control audio from the tower also indicates the moment the pilot of the Southwest plane chose to perform the go-around to avoid the private jet on the runway. Air traffic controllers reply, West 2504, roger that, climb, maintain 3000. Once the plane reached 3,000 feet in the air, the pilot asked the tower, Southwest 2504, how did that happen? Yeah, so here we go. Great job by the Southwest pilots in Chicago. Yep. Yeah, they did a great job. They didn't panic. They did everything correctly. Good job.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen? Can you imagine that in the pilot's voice? Like, how'd that happen?
That was some fucking bullshit. I should have landed.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill you when I get down the ground. Over. When you look at the airport map, it looks like a plaid kilt. The former Department Transportation Inspector General Mary Chavo, an analyst, there are just so many runways, taxiways, etc. Runway incursions, which two airplanes essentially get in the way of one another on or near a runway, average more than 3 per day across the United States in 2024. That is one of the worst statistics in aviation safety. Yeah, and so like yeah, they got a ton of praise, which they absolutely deserve, including like I know that Don Trump Jr. was on Twitter, be like, give them like a raise or a promotion or whatever. They fucking deserve it because they just saved like dozens and dozens of lives, which is true, 100% true. But yeah, for once, one of these incidents actually ended with a good ending for a change. Nice
Who
to
the
see.
fuck was fucking flying the other fucking thing?
It doesn't say it. They haven't released that information yet. It looks like it just says the pilot. They don't know who the pilot is yet, so we don't know. Okay, we also have a couple of other smaller stories in the aviation world. One of them is really freaking weird.
Hello? There you go. I can hear you now. Hold on, what?
Whoa.
Hold on.
Have you been gone this whole time?
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you after. Yeah, he saved lives.
Oh.
He deserves a raise. That was the last thing I heard.
Oh, that's weird.
And I know. Yeah, and I was like, dude, fuck yeah. But wait, hold on. Take a step back. Who the fuck was flying that little plane?
Yeah, I heard you talking. I heard you say that. But you couldn't hear me.
I couldn't hear you at all.
That's weird.
What'd you say?
I would say we don't know. Like, they just say the pilot. We don't know who the pilot is yet. So it just says right here, the pilot replies. So, yeah, we don't know. Okay. Moving on to a really, really strange story. Which was a Qatar Airways flight. They put a dead body into a seat next to a Australian couple for the whole flight.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so couples trauma after body placed next to them on flight. I'm going to play this interview. It's only in 90 seconds.
Mitch, if you can just sort of explain what happened on the flight, because I know this woman walked out of the bathroom and collapsed next to your seat. How did that then play out?
Well, the staff were there in no time, and I pat them on the back. They did a wonderful job trying to revive her. It was right beside me in the aisle, and they did everything they could, but unfortunately the lady couldn't be saved, which was pretty heartbreaking to watch. Then they went to try.
So she died on the plane. Okay.
And
yeah.
Move her. They brought this chair down, which I'd never seen before, but it had just 2 wheels on the back, and they put her in this chair. And they tried to wheel her up towards business class, but she was quite a large lady, and they couldn't get her through the aisle because her height was at armchair height. So they looked a bit frustrated, and then they just looked at me and saw seats were available beside me. My wife was on the other side. We were in a row of 4 by ourselves, and they just said to me, "Can you move over, please?" And I just said yes, no problem. And then they placed the lady in the chair that I was in.
Yeah, I'm not a great flyer at the best of times, but when my husband turned around and said, "Move, we've got to move," I was really shocked, and I said, are they going to, put her there? And luckily a lady behind me on the other aisle, she said, darling, come here, a lovely English lady. And I sat next to her. Yeah. But so Mitch was across the aisle then from me for the rest of the flight.
So
Jesus Christ.
Get her off the plane. Get the dead person off the plane. What are you doing?
So that they couldn't move her because she was too thickums.
She was too
so
fat.
They're like, yeah, we can't
Thickums.
fucking get her through the. What the fuck, dude?
Okay, that's why it was during the flight.
Yeah, it was during the flight. It wasn't.
Okay, so they can't get her off the plane. Okay. So this woman dies on the middle of the flight, and then they just stick her next to this couple. You're like, you're just gonna have to sit next to this dead person for the rest of the flight. Jeez. So Mitchell Ring and Jennifer Collin, who were traveling to Venice for a dream holiday, told Australia's Channel 9, who Cryo works for, apparently, a woman had died in the aisle beside them during the flight from Melbourne to Doha, which would be Qatar. The couple say cabin crew placed her corpse, covered in blankets, next to Mr. Ring for the remaining 4 hours of the flight without offering to move him, despite there being empty seats. Qatar Airways said it apologized for, quote, any inconvenience or distress this incident may have caused.
Any that it may have caused? What do you want?
Say all, you idiots. All inconvenience and distress. Like, come on. This incident caused, not may have caused. Like, jeez.
Sorry that you're not used to seeing dead bodies, says the Muslims. Fucking Jesus Christ, dude.
The couple said that they had not been contacted or offered support by Qatar Airways or Qantas, the airline through which they booked the flight. Qantas is an Australian airline company. In a later statement on Wednesday, Qatar Airways said it had now spoken with the affected passengers to address their concerns as well as the family of the woman who died. Yeah, so the process for handling incidents on board an aircraft like this is managed by the operating airline, which in this case is Qatar Airways. Deaths in the air occur more frequently than people would think, but said as far as he was aware, there was no specific protocol in place for such situations. On a long-haul flight, it tends to depend largely on when it occurs and where it occurs and what the crew have in terms of facilities to place the body somewhere, because on an airplane, there's no access to the hold. There's a crew rest area, but that's for the crew, so it can be problematical. Problematical?
Problematical.
A toilet area or galley area could be blocked off, he said, but the crew are required to keep a certain number of toilets available. I expect that the crew would do all they could to avoid that. You are creating potential future liabilities in terms of the trauma of the people next to whom the body was placed. You don't say! In my experience, the crew would normally try to isolate the body so there is no passenger exposure to the body and vice versa, for respected privacy, but also for medical reasons. You have a dead body that is uncontained. All that goes with it.
Yeah.
So, that's a rough time. Speaking of rough times, this FedEx plane had to return and do an emergency landing at Newark because one of the engines caught fire.
Are you seeing that on the ground? Like, what the fuck?
Just... Oh, man. Now, this thing, I think, landed safely, actually. Because, again, I think I said this in a previous stream, how, like, these planes are actually designed to be able to fly competently on one engine.
Dude, the fucking replies.
I've
There's so many plane accents lately. The guys that make plane accents as common as car crashes.
Yeah, it's... It was another Boeing, yeah. Hope Wilson is okay. Oh, man. Yeah, this was a Boeing plane. This is true. It's another Boeing plane that fucking failed in the air. Ugh. Alright. I'm not flying ever. Dude, I gotta go to... I gotta go from Florida to Japan and back again. On March 30th. So... I'm about
Good
to...
luck.
Yeah, I know. Like, if I don't make it back alive, boys, you know, you'll know why. What's gonna be...
Can I have the channel?
Yeah, you can have the channel, and you just make sure that you cover the plane crash that caused my death on this show for me. You have to promise me
I will. I will. Promise.
Okay, you want to talk about some archaeology?
Yes, always.
Yes, okay. There's been a lot of cool archaeology stories lately, but I found some good ones. First one is a 4,000-year-old Stonehenge-like circle was discovered in Denmark. This one was actually made out of wood, though. So, let's see.
That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. So this is an old wood circle. This isn't the one that they discovered.
Yeah, I'll say I've seen that one.
Right. This is like a well-known one. So workers building a housing estate stumbled upon this structure, which has at least 45 wooden posts arranged in a ring about 30 meters in diameter. Researchers think that this woodhenge might shed light on connections between Neolithic cultures across Europe. The structure, which experts believe dates back to around 2000 BCE, was at first thought to be a row of post holes. Post holes mean holes for fence support holes.
Yeah.
However, excavation leader Andreas Bo Nielsen and Vestimberland's museum curator Sidsel soon recognize its true importance. Experts have found similar wooden circles in Britain, Ireland, and other European countries. These structures are often linked to sun worship and agricultural rituals. The well-known Stonehenge in England, built between 3100 BC and 1600 BC, has huge stone slabs arranged in circles. Experts still argue about its exact purpose. Now, we covered that recently, how the capstone in the middle, or whatever, like the foundation stone, is like from a different quarry from way in the north in Scotland. And I think that like because they've like bothered to like pull rocks from different quarries from across the islands indicates like it was like a cultural center of like unity center or something like that. The Danish Woodhenge seems to align with Stonehenge and the nearby Woodhenge. So this is like Woodhenge, capital W Woodhenge. This is the UNESCO site, the one that's already been found.
And then this other one is Danish.
And this
one.
This is Mailmanhenge, a reconstructed timber circle in England. Let's see here. That's Stonehenge. They don't have an actual image of the thing that they found. Probably not, though. It makes sense though because it's still like being excavated.
Still across of it.
Yeah, but they found something that essentially looks kind of sort of like this.
And it aligns with that one and with Stonehenge.
With things like this, it has similarities to Stonehenge up there, like to this. Experts are now conducting a sampling exercise to study the wood and look for ritual deposits such as flint, arrowheads, and daggers. If they find these, they could tell them a lot. They could tell them a lot about the people who built the structure and what they believe. Archaeologists have found similar wooden circles in Bornholm, a Danish island. However, Wallen said that the R structure, that's this structure, is the first one of this larger type that we can investigate. Yeah, so this is a small one from England. The one that they found is huge, like this one. Studies indicate that Britain saw a big demographic shift around the time people built Stonehenge after groups migrated from Central Europe and the steppes. Some experts think that the buildings like Stonehenge and its newly found Danish counterpart might have helped bring early farming communities together and strengthen shared beliefs. Researchers plan to analyze DNA from wood pieces found at the location to examine possible genetic connections between early populations in Denmark, Britain, and other areas. So yeah, they found yet another one of these marker sites, these central marker sites, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. Moving on in archaeology news, there's still new stuff coming out of Pompeii. Pompeii being one of the, I mean, it's second to only like the very few things, like maybe Egypt. You know, it's one of the few places that has like more crazy stuff that's discovered than Pompeii. You know, but they found
Pompeii's one that was dug, not dug. It was buried by like fucking volcano, was it?
Yeah, Mount Vesuvius.
Volcano ash.
Yeah. Mount Vesuvius erupted and buried the entire city and just destroyed the city, and that's why you have like the ash statues of like real people.
Yeah.
Which is one of the creepiest things I can imagine, to be honest. Okay, but they found a new fresco. Do you know what a fresco is?
Yeah, it's like a well, it's that. It's like a full wall like art piece basically.
Well, that's like a mural. A fresco is
well, that's a mural. Fresco on the ceiling.
Yeah,
it's a ceiling mural.
Yeah, exactly. So that says a nearly life-size fresco known as megalography. Megalography, that's fun to say. A word derived from the Greek for large painting. Covers 3 walls of the banquet hall, while the 4th wall opens onto a garden. The artwork depicts a procession for Dionysus, featuring that's like the Greek god of like wine and a few other things, farming or something like that. I can't remember.
Bitches.
Yeah. He's always portrayed as like this drunk poon hound.
Yeah.
Featuring Maionids, or female followers of Dionysus, portrayed both as ecstatic dancers and fierce hunters. They carry slaughtered goats on their shoulders and brandish swords. Interspersed among them are young satyrs, who are like the part goat, part human creatures, playing music and performing a ritual wine sacrifice. At the center of the fresco, an elderly Silenus, a companion of Dionysus, holds a torch while standing beside a young woman, likely an initiate undergoing a secret ritual. This scene reinforces the long-standing association of Dionysus with transformation and rebirth, concept central to his cult. The wall painting, rendered in vivid reds and deep hues, is part of a broader Roman tradition of Dionysian worship. This tradition had roots in earlier Greek mystery cults that promised their members a mystical experience in the form of spiritual resurrection. The house of Theasus got its name from Theasos, or sacred procession of Dionysus. The fresco matches the second style of Pompeian wall painting, which was prevalent between the 40s and 30s BC. This means that the painting had already existed for over a century when the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in CE 79 buried it under ash and pumice.
So that's incredibly detailed.
Yeah, and it's this survived the Vesuvius thing, like to this level, and whatever erosion has happened to an exposure to the elements that have happened since Vesuvius. Yeah,
you see like all like the little details of like little strokes for like the hair on the fucking deer.
I mean there's shading. This is like super detailed. Like you could tell individual things that are in this cornucopia. Well, it looks like they're all shells, but you can tell what kind of shells they are. Like, and you can even like all the border is fully preserved too. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Find is noteworthy because it includes hunting scenes, a theme not seen in the Villa of the Mysteries frescoes. A smaller frieze above the main motif further emphasizes this theme, showing different animals, some alive, others freshly hunted, such as a gutted wild boar, a fawn, and various birds and fish. The integration of hunting into the Dionysian rituals suggests a possible connection between initiation rituals and the pursuit of wild game, which strengthens the theme of transformation and chaos inherent in the Dionysian experience. Gabriel Zechugel, director of the Archaeological Park of Pompeii and co-author of an initial study published in the E-Journal of the Pompeii Excavation, said, beginning from the Bacchae of Euripides, written in 405 BC, and one of the most popular tragedies in antiquity, becomes a metaphor for an unrestrained, ecstatic life that aims to achieve great, wondrous things, as the chorus observes in Euripides' play. He also noted that the frescoes depict the contrast between the controlled, domesticated woman and the wild, untamed bacchante, illustrating a religious and social dichotomy present in Roman society.
Hot.
Yeah, the wild woman. Although that's kind of redundant, chat. Let's be real. The House of Theasus fresco is now accessible to the public as part of ongoing guided tours of the excavation site. Oh, that'd be fucking cool. You can actually take tours to see these things. That's fucking cool. The broader excavation of Region 9, which began in February 2023, has uncovered a vast area covering approximately 3,200 square meters. Archaeologists have found several atrium houses that people turned into workshops of the 1st century CE, including a Phalonica, a laundry, and a bakery with areas for milling and making food. Besides the Dionysian banquet hall, other rooms found at the House of Theasus include a reception room with scenes from the Trojan War, a sacrarium, or shrine, showing the 4 seasons in agricultural allegories, and a large bath complex. The excavation team continues to explore the site with plans for permanent public access in the future. Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah, I would love to see that one day. That sounds freaking cool. So, yeah, they're just... I just think it's cool because Pompeii is like a really extensively researched and studied thing, and to this day they're still making these discoveries, which is pretty cool. Oh, I'm getting called out by villain. BC, stop indulging their BS by saying CE. Oh, okay. I don't know what they mean.
BC is before Christ. C is fucking common era or whatever the fuck.
Oh, CE is the non-religious term for it? Okay.
Yeah. So,
got it. Okay.
Yeah, so BC and AD is, before Christ, and then after Dominion or whatever the fuck it's called, right? And then BCE and CE is before Common Era and Common Era.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Which still just starts with Christ.
Yeah, it's still centered. It's like
whatever.
Yeah, it's like the Gregorian calendar is based around Christ. No, it's like
Yeah, Anno Domini, year of our Lord. That's what it is. Not Dominion. Fuck that thing.
Okay. Okay.
Anno Domini.
I learned something today. Thank you.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
The last cool bit of archaeology I have is that they discovered the oldest section of China's Great Wall, which is like, I had no idea that they didn't know about like the full extent of the Great Wall. Like I know that the Great Wall isn't a single wall. There's like multiple walls, right? But I didn't know that they like didn't know where some of it was. So archaeologists have unearthed what is now believed to be the earliest section of the Great Wall of China, predating previous estimates by approximately 300 years. This section dates back to the latest Western Zhou dynasty, 1046 BCE to 771 BC, and the early spring and autumn period, 770 to 476. This groundbreaking discovery was made in Chongqing District, Yunnan, Shandong Province. The Shandong Province Provincial Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology directed an excavation between the months of May and December 2024. Approximately 1,100 square meters were excavated in the northern part of Guangli Village. This is the first proactive excavation of the Key Great Wall after years of preliminary surveys. A multidisciplinary approach was employed by the research team, utilizing traditional artifact analysis, soil sampling, plant silica studies, and dating techniques such as optically stimulated luminescence and carbon-14 dating. I've actually played around with both of these when I was at school. I got access to some special microscopes that could add this kind of equipment on it. It's pretty cool. The Key Great Wall, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is the earliest and longest segment of China's ancient fortifications. It extends approximately 641 kilometers across central Shandong, from Chongqing in the west to the coast of Qingdao east. The wall played a significant role in the military strategy of the Qi state during the Eastern Zhou dynasty. Don't let anybody ever say that the wall was impossible, chat. If they could build this 2,000 years ago, then they could build the damn wall.
Yeah, dude, and we already know it works at keeping savages out.
It does. Walls work. According to Zhang Xu, a project leader of the Shandong Provincial Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology, that is a mouthful. The excavations revealed distinct phases of wall construction. The oldest walls, dating back to the spring and autumn period, were about 10 meters thick, to show evidence of their foundation possibly dating back to the Zhou dynasty. Later walls, mainly from the Warring States period, I think that's the Three Kingdoms era. I think that's what that means. That's what like the Dynasty Warriors franchise is based on. Showed far more advanced construction techniques, with the most robust phasing between being over 30 meters in width. The final phase, built under King Yuan of Qi, is well preserved and constructed using fine yellow earth compacted with metal rammers for durability. They also found residential structures under the early walls. So they were, I mean, people lived in these walls. They were kind of like cities in and of themselves. An ancient settlement, Pinyin City, was also identified about 1.5 kilometers north of the Key Great Wall by the team. Historical texts, including Bojuan and Water Classic commentary, refer to Pinyin as a critical stronghold of the Qi state. Pinyin City served to protect transportation routes and maintain border security. Historical records show that Pinyin was a pivotal military site involved in the conflict between Qi and the three Jin states. Yeah, so that's the Wu, Shu, and Wei. Those are the three Jin states. Archaeological excavations have confirmed the existence of the Western City Wall, stretching at least 500 meters in length, along with evidence in the form of trenches and fortified gates mentioned in ancient texts. That's really cool when you have like these ancient texts that are like, they tend to be like very embellished. You know what I mean? To like,
yeah,
you know, to give these historical figures almost like this mythical status and prowess in battle and such like that. So, like, when you read these texts and then you actually discover, like, the places mentioned in these texts, it, like, that's really freaking cool.
Finding places, like, from, like, mythology.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. the latest. I mean, it'd be like finding Atlantis and stuff like that. You know, these places. You know, Plato mentioned Atlantis by name in his texts, that kind of stuff. Like you really want to think it's real. I actually think that Atlantis is in northern Africa, by the way, but that's for another time. The latest discoveries address long-standing questions regarding the age, construction techniques, and
I do think it exists somewhere.
I do too. I actually do think Atlantis was real. Thank you, Graham Nolan. And function of the key Great Wall. Previous research efforts from 2008 to 2010 focus on surveying the wall's distribution and preservation status, while further exploration in 2022 helped identify underground remnants of missing sections. The current excavation, the first systematic archaeological study of the site, has provided crucial insights into the early phases of the Great Wall construction. So, I had no idea until I initially scouted out this story that, like, the Great Wall was, like, this, still had, like, a bunch of mysteries and unknown aspects about it. You know, because it's it's a really high-profile structure. You could see it from space, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that, like, you know, we knew where the wall was and where all the different offshoots of the wall were. I didn't know that, like, this was, like, still to this day, like, an active, you know, archaeological excavation site. Like, there's still things being discovered about it. Like, I had no idea. I think that's freaking cool.
Also, apparently it's not actually visible to the naked eye from space.
But you can't?
No.
Oh.
That's a lie, apparently.
Damn. Three Kingdoms is some 400 years after the Warring States. Oh, okay. I guess
the wall's color and form could make it difficult to see from low orbit.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. That actually.
However, it can be photographed from space using high-powered lenses.
Yeah, but, like, the idea is that you could, like, can you see the pyramids from space? I wonder if there's any, like, there's any, like, it's like single structure.
Yes, the pyramids of Giza are visible from space.
Okay, that's freaking cool. Let's see here. Atlantis is in a hyper-advanced society. The sunk under the waves are more like Atlantis, a location with the civilization of.
They're, however, not easily discernible from that height with the naked eye. But you can see them.
They might look like a speck, but you can't see them. If you know that that's what they are, then you can see them. That kind of a thing. Okay.
Apparently, highways, dams, and cities are visible. I mean, cities make sense, but some highways are visible from space.
Huh. I mean, I bet that, like, there's highways that are, like, across, like, deserts, like, open deserts, like in Nevada and stuff like that, that you can see from space. But, okay. Well, those are, like, the three that I picked out for archaeological news that I found. I recently, not recently, but, like, I started going back to this site just to look for stuff. But this is archeologymag.com. It's a really, really good site for archaeology news. Like, it's like my go-to. So, yeah. Okay, let's get into a couple more silly stories, and then we'll do clips of the week, and then we'll wrap it up. We're making good time. We got about 25 minutes left before the end of the show, which is good time. First, Kizuna AI has returned. The OG VTuber is back. And she came back in the form of a music video. Let's see. On February 26, 2022, following the Kizuna AI The Last Live Hello World 2022 event, Kizuna went on indefinite hiatus. Indefinite doesn't mean permanent, though. On Wednesday, exactly 3 years to the day since she started her break, Kizuna announced via video that she's back. Hi,
domo! Kizuna AI desu! Minna, tadaima! Kaette kimashita!
So, yeah, it's so wild seeing Kizuna AI, like, live again.
Yes,
so she's got a new room. She's got a new outfit. She still has the classic headband. I have to remember, like, chat, like, the official icon for
Her V2 Studio
for V2
is her little fucking.
Yes, yeah, her headband, her little rabbit ear headband is the symbol for V2 Studio, which is like what every VTuber uses for their models. Like, like VTubing wouldn't be it probably would be a thing, but I mean, it all started with her, which is it's really cool to see her come back.
She was the first one to like popularize it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's definitely the first one that like broke out of Japan and got the whole idea of VTubing beyond Japan's shores.
Yeah, I mean, she ended up getting hired by Japan to be like a what do you call it? A cultural representative, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because Japan like recognizes that like people love Japanese like pop culture outside of Japan, and they capitalize, which they should. So she returned with this music video. I'm obviously not going to play it for copyright reasons, but it's easy to find on YouTube. It's a banger. Like, because I have to remember, like, I remember like when I first saw like pre-pandemic era when I first saw Kizuna AI, and she was doing like, because it wasn't just her, like they added like other girls to like her group, like her music group, and they were putting on like these holographic concerts.
Yeah.
You remember that shit?
Yeah.
I man, when I first discovered that, it blew my fucking mind. Like I was like, how is this possible? Like I honest to God, like could not believe what I was seeing. I was absolutely blown away, like seeing 3 holographic 3D anime girls putting on live action concerts to like actual people. You know what I mean? It's just like it was absolutely mind blowing to me when I first saw it. It was so freaking cool. So she released this music video as part of her debut. And she plans to release more than 10 more songs this year. So she's hitting the ground running with music. Which is enough for an album. And then her next release is only a few weeks away, with a projected release date of either March 12th or 19th. I also think that music transcends barriers like language and preconceptions, she adds. Well, yeah, 100%. Like, I love, like, honestly, my favorite genre of music is 80s Japanese city pop. I fucking love that genre of music. It's super niche. And guess what? I can only understand, like, maybe 15% of the words in the music. It doesn't matter. I fucking love it. No. This doesn't necessarily mean that Kizuna is going full idol and dropping the laid-back VTuber part of her activities, though. In announcing her comeback, she specifically says the newly updated Kizuna AI will focus on music activities first, implying that non-musical endeavors haven't been ruled out, but are simply on the back burner while she reestablishes her singing career. So she's going like full Mori Calliope. She's like going all in with like the music part of her VTubing, essentially. But yeah, it's just really cool to see Kizuna AI, the OG, come back. You know, in a way, she's all of our VTube mamas in a way. So yeah, Kizuna AI is back. I don't know. Do you have any further comments on this one, Rosa?
No, it's just one of those like nice, like, you know, the little feel-good stories.
It's a very feel-good story. My final story for the night is a silly story. Which I don't know. I saw this and I was like, this is dumb, but it'd be a fun way to end. It would be a fun way to end the news for the night. Before we get into the clips of the week, and that is, someone painted a giant penis on the roof of an elementary school, and the authorities are scrambling to cover it up. It was the janitor. Come on, let's be real. We know this was the janitor. But this is just... It's so South Park. You know, it's so South Park. It even has like the little like the little the slit, you know, everything.
That's really funny.
Someone drew a penis so large it could be viewed from space, unfortunately choosing an elementary school roof as their cheeky canvas. So this happened in Germany. This happened in Germany. So the Germans are involved in yet another. It's great. Authorities are attempting to cover up a giant penis that was erected on the rooftop of a school in Berlin. You know this guy had too much fun writing this. The doppelwanger had reportedly been painted atop the Free Waldorf School in the Kreuzberg district back in 2022. That's right. At 65 feet long, the Titanic tallywhacker is so big that it's visible on Google Maps. Despite its massive size, the not safe for work street art is fairly Spartan, entailing a simple and sketchy white outline, like a chalk drawing of a deceased phallus. They censored it in this one. Why is it censored here? Perhaps the great talent of the artist lies dormant in other fields. German outlet Bild snarked while reviewing the dirty graffiti. Whether this magnum opus was the work of street artists or students, Donatello perhaps, is yet unclear. However, that's what I'm saying. The author had so much fun writing this. However, authorities have attempted to paint over the edges in a half-baked attempt to cut a schlong story short. A schlong story. At last, the shape of the sex organ remains very discernible on the roof of the Waldorf School, which specializes in an education system developed in the 1900s by Austrian social reformer Rudolf Steiner. The school's website says the institution...
I was like, huh?
Institution offers, quote, young people space to develop their creativity, their free thinking, and their individual personality. I'll bet you it was like a trio of kids at the school. It was either a trio of kids at the school or it was the janitor. Kreuzberg is alternative, diverse, and always on the move, and so are we as a school community, they add. Unfortunately, the world has seemingly devolved into a game of phallic whack-a-mole of late, with penile representations cropping up anywhere from fields to GPS and even flight paths. Wait, what? Wait a minute.
Huh?
I'm opening these right now. The symbolic sausage. Page not found. Oh.
Symbolic sausage.
That one, that's a dead link. This was in 2020. Again, it's so South Park. It's giant penis Rocky Fillmore searching for a suspect. And then there's, what's this one? Runner creates largest GPS. Oh, I remember this one. He basically turned on the GPS tracker and then went on like a really long bike ride and had the GPS route tracker draw a penis.
That's fucking funny.
That's dedication. So he went 75 miles to draw this penis, this GPS penis. I remember this one. That's fucking funny.
What started GPS cock and balls drawing on
75-mile phallus?
It was not on a bike.
Yeah, it was on my bike.
Ran it.
Yeah, it was a bike.
No. It's foot record. On foot.
Oh my god, you're right. Holy crap.
He's a runner. He's not a biker.
Wow. He ran 75 miles in a day. That's a lot. That's a long way.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it first reared its head in Italy, where the appearance of an enormous veiny penis sculpture outraged the online masses, who labeled it disgusting and a piece of crap.
Actually, it's a piece of cock.
Oh man. The artist died 6 months ago in New York at 83. When was this published? This was in this was recently, 2024, October. Well, he now has a legacy to leave behind. Good for him. That's fucking funny. Okay. This author is living his best life right now. I know, right? Oh, man. I like several 80s Japanese metal bands. Anthem toured the U.S. briefly in the 80s with Racer X. Loudness toured with Motley Crue and played Madison Square Garden. Saber Tiger has some cool stuff. Nice. The Hatsune Miku concerts they used to do. Yeah, Hatsune Miku. Yeah, that blew my mind, man. It blew my mind. Okay. Time for clips of the week. Do you have anything for this week?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Oh. No, I don't typically look for clips.
Okay.
I like, how do I put this? I'm not much of a video person.
Oh, okay. I get you. Okay. Well, I have something to show. Let me, if I can. What can I show? Oh yeah, there was this one. This one's pretty funny. Let me see here. That one. I'll show that one, and then which one is this? Oh no, that one's old. That one's old. This one. I guess keep them bookmarked. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this one was great. Okay. So first, let me show. These are both involving immigration, by the way. So, it's a hilarious thing. So first is a lib creating a magic spell for illegals to not get deported. So let me change the aspect ratio here so you can actually see the whole thing back. Originally a TikTok. There you go. So anti-deportation charm for migrants. Save this vid, so if you are near ICE agents, you could use the charm to avoid deportation. Whites, share with your POC buddies to protect them. I'll remember the recipe.
Such a grift.
You will not be deported. You will not be deported. These are not the migrants you're looking for. These are not the migrants you're looking for. ICE agents explode! ICE agents explode!
Somebody needs to debate though, or her family.
I know. He said this to Peito immediately and tell her to distribute it to her family member.
Send it to me. Send it to me right now. I'm gonna send it to her.
Okay, she's so clearly just making up.
Yeah, just taking the piss.
Yeah, she's either taking the piss, or she's just at least just making it up as she goes along. There's no actual rhyme or reason to it.
Whoa. Just got a raid notification.
A what?
Peito just got raided, and I hear it.
Raided? Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh,
there you go.
Send to me. I need to send her this.
Yeah, send her this. Tell her to help her family.
Copy text.
Kind of want I want her to react to it during her gaming stream, right after she got raided.
Hold on, I'm gonna go talk to her real quick.
Okay, yeah,
you
go do that. It's just so funny. Oh my god, have me die in chat. This is so funny.
Deported. These are not the migrants you're looking for. These are not the migrants you're looking for.
Save it, migrants. Save this one. Put it in your pocket. It will save you from ICE. Oh yeah, Marku Patho got raided like on the stream, like like a viewership raid.
Ice agent explode!
Explode!
Ice agent explode!
×2. It just ends there. It just ends after the. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. I love this shit, chat. I really do. I love it. I love it so much. I love this cringy shit. Oh man. An illegal telling an ICE agent he is going to explode won't end well. True. Also, what is this like a? Is it? I think it's a box of matches in her hand. This is a charm, by the way. This is what charm looks like, apparently. I want to be deported after seeing this. As long as you can still watch the show, NDA. Oh man. What's the hot scene kid forever? Hot scene kid? She actually calls herself Scene Kid. Like, this has to be a troll account. This has got to be with a troll account. It seems like a troll account. Like she's just making up nonsense as she goes.
You're looking for.
Like you could tell, like it's not even like a continuous thing. It's cut up. Every little segment of it is a different cut. So she doesn't even do the whole charm in one go. Like you would have to if it was real. Like it's edited together.
I can't. No,
what?
she's busy. She just went to like a fight.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You
can show her later.
You can show her later. It's fine. And then the other one that I had. The other one that I had for you was this. You see this? So this is at the.
I did see this. This is funny.
It's at the like the conservative political conference, CPAC political after. And this is some lefty, journal that works for this company called The Good Liars, and he's just interviewing this random guy here at this conservative event.
Oh, not at all. Nope.
Explain the outfit.
It's $29.99 on Amazon. I would recommend buying a small if you're my size. This one's a little too loose for my liking. But yeah, if you want some entertainment, wear this and go to a Home Depot in a sanctuary city like where I live right now, Washington, D.C., and you'll see all the illegals. Not all of them, but you can maybe see a lot of them start to run away, and you feel like a group fitness instructor. It's really good.
And you actually think that's funny?
I think it's hilarious. Absolutely. What's not funny is them illegally.
There you have it, everybody. One of the worst people I've seen here at CPAC, and that's saying something. Appreciate it.
Just some lefty, dumbass, mid-witted do-gooder. And this kid just leans into the whole thing. He doesn't get it. He behaves exactly the way he should behave to these people. Because he knows, that he knows that this is some lefty douchebag.
Yeah.
He knows. He's like, I'm not gonna let you morally browbeat me. No, I'm leading into it. Fuck you. It's just a joke. Again, you could buy this shit on Amazon. It's hilarious. Oh man. But those are the clips that I have. I have more too, but I'll save them. You know what I'll do, since you're not in the habit of finding clips, is I'll look for stuff and I'll send it to you if I see something that you might like, and you can kind of save them that way. You want to do it that way. But anyway, that's the worst person at CPAC is the best ever for CPAC I've ever seen. I know, it's just a kid, being edgy. Lay off it, dude.
A kid? I don't know if I'd call it a kid.
How old? Well, he's clearly what do you think? early mid-20s.
Yeah.
Okay, well. Okay, he's like your age.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, fair enough. I don't know. He's young enough to be my son, so I kind of like call him kid just by instinct. But that's because I'm old. So sorry about that.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
Okay, I found a video for you.
You did.
I
You
was like, I'm
found
gonna scroll
something.
through Twitter and I'll find something. I know I will.
Okay.
This is cool. And by cool, I mean it's fucked up. I sent you something.
It could be anything. Always remember, it can be literally anything. Okay.
It was right under a video of feet.
God. Hang on. Okay, what is this?
The mouth of a flare gun.
Holy shit! It went right through the mask, too.
It's not that it went through the mask, it's that it caught it on fucking fire.
Oh, but it looks like it's like burning it from inside his mouth.
I don't think so.
That doesn't look like it's inside his mouth burning?
I think it's just burning the mask itself.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, okay. Still, though, holy shit.
I like the fucking replies, bro. You don't need a wizard. You don't need to be a wizard to cast Fireball.
Wearing an M95 mask outside that may have actually offered some protection. That likes an insanely Scorpion.
In ballistics gel, that is 6 inches of penetration with 7-second burn time. Someone replies, "My wife can tell you all about 6 inches of penetration with a 7-second burn time."
Apparently it was an Antifa twat being an Antifa twat. Makes me want to pull out this guy. A signal pistol? Yeah. Burn the stupid mask right up his face. The one time he was actually saved by a mask.
No, people are saying it punched through into his mouth. His teeth are likely gone. His jaw caught it, not the mask.
Oh. Yeah. I was gonna say
like Scorpion now.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like these are phosphorus flares. Like these burn hot. These are hot. Yeah, this guy is permanently disfigured. After this, he has to be.
Bro just got turned into a supervillain just then and there.
Fuck, dude.
That's all it takes. Well, what I was really looking to fucking send you was the I can't find fucking Monster Hunter Wilds, like their account.
Oh yeah, there's a good chance he lost his tongue in this as well. Ugh.
So fucked.
Yeah, he's really fucked. I mean, yeah, I would say this is like a FAFO moment, you know, but like sometimes it's like sometimes things go too far, I feel like. It's like if he was just being a twat, no, I don't think just being an asshole warrants extreme facial permanent disfiguration. You know what I mean?
That's rough, dude.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I know he's part of Antifa and that kind of stuff, but it's just like, I don't know, man. If that is the case, I don't feel very good about this one, actually.
No.
It's really shocking the first couple times we've watched it, though. Holy shit.
Yeah, at first you're like, wow, that happened.
So it looks like
it hits you.
He
the logistics of it.
He went to kick him first. That's why he does this little pathetic little fade. Boom.
Boom.
Jeez. Did you send me something else? No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's all.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
My timeline just, I just scrolled through and I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to send you. Hold on, this is the, I'm just going to send you one of this person's videos like every week. But yeah, this is the last one.
Oh, you're fine. That's the whole point of this. Like, it could be like...
I recently found this person on Twitter, and I love their posts.
Okay, so who is this? Let's watch it first. Is this gonna get copyrighted?
Yes. This is probably one of the least amazing videos. But they have
Okay.
some crazy, crazy videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this muted then. Always one of these like fancy juggler kind of guys.
No, you need to go check something else out on their thing, because this is one of the least impressive.
I think I've seen this guy before. I've seen someone doing similar tricks as him before. Here.
Yeah, watch this. This is spectacular to observe.
Copyrighted music on this one. I've seen people who do this. It's really fucking mesmerizing.
Look at them fingers move.
I know, right? Like how much precision you have to be able to pull off to keep
the thing like mostly in place.
Yeah, exactly. That's that takes a lot of practice.
Look at that, dude.
Wow.
Fucking wild.
Dude, this right here is the reason that I really like old school vaudeville theater. You know that kind of shows you see it. The kind of shows you see at Renaissance festivals and stuff like that. That's what this is. I fucking love it.
Wait for it.
Oh my god.
There's always more rings. This music makes me think of Near Replicant.
Yeah, I can see it. Like techno relaxation kind of music. That's freaking cool. That was really freaking cool. I love this kind of vaudeville, these vaudeville kind of performances.
I love their whole getup and like their whole thing's so cool. But yeah, that's it. That's me. I'm done.
Right on. I love it. I love it. All right. I guess with that, it's time to wrap up and tell everybody what we're going to be doing next week.
Yeah. I don't know yet. Next week is my collab week. So the only things I have in place are plenty of Monster Hunter, probably. I have a collab with Mocha. On Monday, we're going to be playing some Divinity that evening. I've got a collab with Jazz on Thursday. We're going to be playing some Code Vein. We're going to play some more Monster Hunter with Patho's brother on Friday. Aside that, obviously I have more D&D with the J on Friday. I also have, I know Patho has a Lethal Company collab on Wednesday. That's everything that comes to mind immediately. Oh, and Saturday night, Asta, I believe, will do a drawing stream, and he will also be hosting the Cards Against Humanity on our channel because I will be gone on Friday. Me and Patho will both be going to Patho's brother's place for his birthday on Saturday.
Yeah, you got a few absences coming up though, don't you?
Oh yeah, the week after that, I'm gonna be gone for like half the week. So Jazz will be covering Wednesday and Thursday. Rico will be covering Friday and Saturday, and you're gonna be covering Sunday the week after.
Right, the day you get
So-
back.
Well, the day I start coming back.
Right.
I'll be back probably like Sunday night. So
Yeah. That'll be weird. I'll be streaming on your channel, then you'll tune in as a chatter on your channel.
yeah.
It's gonna be weird. That's gonna be a fun week though. It's gonna be like the collective takes over your channel.
Yeah.
Week.
It's gonna be wacky.
It's gonna be wacky. By the way, I got a message from my artist while we've been streaming tonight, and she said that no worries. She's gonna send an update in the morning, so she's cool with those.
Awesome.
Final revision asks, and yeah, so that will definitely be happening next show next
Dude,
week.
hell yeah.
Cool. As far as my streaming schedule is concerned, I don't have any rocket launches to go see this week, so I'm back to normal. I got the Subnautica on Tuesday. That I'm gonna be mostly just base building on Tuesday, and then after that is when I think it's gonna get. Well, actually, it'll probably get interesting. I'm probably gonna get sidetracked and eventually doing something involving something terrifying. I'm gonna have to go onto that. I'm gonna have to explore the big ship at some point, chat. I'm gonna have to, and you know anything about that game? That means Reaper territory, or Reaper territory, which I don't know. I might need to get my emotional support bird in there with this into the stream with me. Who, by the way, actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm not gonna announce it here. But the emotional support bird is my editor, by the way. Is the one who has been putting out all the banger shorts that I have been able to put on the channel in the last few weeks. So, other than that, Wednesday I'm back to Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and then Friday back to Red Dead Redemption as usual, and we're back here again. Well, I'm back here again next Saturday. Whether I have a co-host or not sure, but there will be a show. If I have to do it solo, I will do it solo. If I can find a fill-in guest, then I'm going to fill in. But either way, it'll be a fun time, chat. So I hope to see you there. And with that, that's all I have for the night. You good?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I'm doing chat. Don't forget to go fuck yourself. It's healthy.
Indeed. Lick the bean. Whatever you need to do, chat. I'll see you on the next one. The watch is yours. Take care.
Bye, chat.